It is Thursday, the 19th of September. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And I'm one of your hosts for today, my own royalty.
Yes, what's going on? Morning, people. This is Brother Ramsey, the TMB diversity hire,
Okay.
your music supplier.
Okay.
And yeah, that's all I got for today. Can't think of any more
That'll do
rhymes.
it. I'm here for it.
What's going on, Brent? What you saying?
Yo, I'm good. Blessed and highly
What kind of
favored.
voice is that? Then boys try to put, obviously you guys
Got
wouldn't
that
know,
deep
but
voice.
yeah, when guys try to make their voice, just stop. Don't play with me. Sent me with a good time.
I just cleared my throat, and I said what I said.
Okay.
How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you?
I'm good,
Lovely
thank you.
Human beings,
I have something to say this morning.
talk to us.
Obviously, I have publicly, I'm a woman of accountability.
Wait a minute.
Always been.
What is happening?
If you have any more sound effects,
Come on, let's do it.
are you right? I've in the past cussed Brent for not being a man of his word. Actually, I like that music. Keep it going.
The Wellness Wednesday music.
I love it. Where he has promised Gina and I food. Because he grills food every single week and he has never supplied. And I'll be honest with you, at one point I just started to think it was a myth. Because I never smell smoke when I come up in here. So, anyways, yesterday, Brent gave me some chicken wings.
Aw,
Brent's price has gone up.
aw.
It's really nice.
I
I really enjoyed it, Brent. You season meat really well.
Oh, thank you very much.
That paste thing you use, I'm gonna have to grab some of that. No, it was really nice. It was so nice. It was nicer than I expected.
Wait a minute. Stop. I need to get some music.
No, but keep the music going.
So I didn't know this is where we're going. I actually thought
I
we
knew
were
it
going.
wasn't.
Seeing
What do you
as
What do you think I was
men
going?
saying that women don't like to take accountability. I thought you like, alright, you know what I said about shits and gigs, right?
Oh!
It's not that.
I'm taking my
It's
AirPod
not
out for
that.
this. What?
It's not that. Impossible.
Excuse me?
Impossible can't. Yeah, is that what you're saying? Impossible. I am not budging. I am not moving.
First of all, I'm a foodie. Food is always first in my mind. What the hell? Chicks and gigs? What's it got to do with me? Why am I in it?
All right.
To be fair, we're going to talk about it in Word and Red. We're going to talk about it now
Alright,
because,
alright.
you know.
Esther, listen.
So is this shits and gigs or chicken wings?
This is chicken wings, mate.
The chicken wings are great.
Because I didn't know people going here.
You've heard about James and
Why are you saying
Phil
stuff line?
I'm talking about James and Phil had 2 days. I'm starting my show with James and Phil had
No,
for a third day
I'm talking
running.
about chicken wings. Why don't you just say it offline? Like,
No, because I wanted to, because again, accountability.
but I don't care if it is people. Don't.
I know you don't care. I care. Actually, no, I don't either way. But obviously, I could have told you offline, but I did want to because me and Gina did make it a thing. Like we've made it a thing, and you know we have.
Genius are gonna hear this, so.
Well, I'll tell Gina tomorrow. I told Gina tomorrow. Brent's chicken wings are nice, but no, it was really nice.
All
I
right.
really enjoyed
So
it.
when you say Brent's chicken wings, you have to basically bear in mind and stop. I stopped and looked at you because you said it's better than you expected. Like, what are you talking about? Wait a minute.
Yes, I don't know why you and James and Phil had.
Wait.
There's more pressing matters we need to address. The hell?
Better than expected.
James and
So
Phil.
wait. You just thought I was going.
I'm sorry, I'm not Caribbean. What does that mean?
So when I was there telling you that I do this every single weekend.
Yeah, but you can do it every single weekend. It can be shit.
And in your mind, you're thinking, I'm just.
No, I didn't think. I just thought it'd be nice. I didn't think I just thought it'd be nice. But I liked. Because when you say you grill, you just never know.
Yeah.
I've seen people say they grill. You know, okay. I've been to some barbecues, and you might as well put the food in the oven. Like, there's not
Okay.
the grill is not grilling.
All right.
Do you know what I mean? So I didn't know. So it was because I really like char grilled chicken.
Yeah. So you actually.
So I wasn't expecting that.
You tasted the smoke.
Yes.
All right,
So
okay.
that I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was giving a live review to somebody else, but
All right.
it was nice.
Let me know. Let me tell you that the quality level of the ones that you're saying is like, oh my gosh.
I mean, I didn't faint, but
Good. Because that's not the best.
no, I feel like you can. Because I'll be honest, with you, I want to taste your brown stew chicken. That's where my mind went. I thought, ooh,
Stew chicken. Yeah.
is it not all brown? Is it called brown stew chicken?
Not in Trinidad, no.
Oh, but is it called brown stew chicken in Jamaica?
I'm not from Jamaica. I don't know how it is they basically talk about the
You be
chicken.
sitting there like you're Nigerian there. I'm pretty sure in the Caribbean. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah,
but the stewed chicken.
Yeah.
I thought this would be nice.
All right. Okay.
So
Okay.
So when you cook that,
Cool,
obviously I
cool.
don't think you put dairy in that.
No, there's no milk in my stewed chicken.
Okay, because you never know what people put in their food.
No.
Do you ever watch people? Do you ever like something and then when you see the process of how someone makes it, you're like,
No.
it puts me off.
No.
So sometimes I can't watch how people make their food because it will put me off.
Can you give me one example of when you saw it food being made and you're like,
Sensitive. Or if you mute it really quickly and take the camera off me, I can tell you quickly. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah. So I was really happy about that. It was really nice.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you really much. I
Yeah,
love it when people feed me.
anytime I would have looked to threaten to give you all food, if it was there, I would have given to you. Do you know?
Yeah, and I think that's obviously it's a running joke we make.
Yeah.
But you know how sometimes people, we know we're joking.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know me and Gina joking.
Yeah, 100%.
But then people listening don't know that it's a joke.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to come on here and let them know. But also, I want to just let the girls know that your price is high.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's all right.
And it's only
That don't happen often.
Okay.
Is it okay? Is it?
So basically, in my head, you were staying past lunchtime.
Yes.
So I was like, hey, whilst you're here, maybe banana wouldn't be sufficient. So
I didn't even have a banana yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very thoughtful. I love thoughtful gestures. So thank you.
You're welcome. I think we have a couple Spotify comments.
All right. Do you want to talk about James Fuhad though?
I thought we were doing it in.
Should we talk about it in Wellington Road?
Yeah.
Because Andrew Schultz is a piece of shit.
I
I wanted to punch the air.
We were talking about-
Brent, I was fuming, Brent.
I was laughing when I was sent the clip, right? Because I didn't see the clip. And I
Oh,
was
did
sent-
you not? Because I
Gina
was going to
sent
send
me
it. I assumed you were going to see it, so I just thought, okay, I'm not going to send it to you.
Are you talking about the
The full on 12 minutes.
feedback? Yeah.
And they played it on the big screen.
So I also watched the rest of the actual
Episode.
show. Yeah,
Okay.
to see what preceded it and what
Yeah.
followed it, right?
Yeah.
And what followed it was cut, right? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's wait until we're on the road and talk about it.
I hope people don't raise my blood pressure before we get
But
there.
that was he was very
Brent.
cheeky. He was like, "Hey, you calling me racist? I bet. What I'm gonna tell you." And
Do you know what irritated
this
me though?
particular clip.
That Indian guy, is he a permanent fixture on there?
Yeah. Akash, sing. I need to basically wait to when run. I need to basically educate you about flagrant 2. Because if
man.
you're not just
No, but
like,
they're really flagrant now.
outside onlookers right now. Do you understand? Y'all don't know what happens there.
No, I don't,
At all.
Brent.
And that's why I was telling Taser, they should have never been put onto that particular platform. She should have never.
Yeah, I don't know.
There.
Yeah, the management did not do that one well.
That is a pit of Hades. Like it's sharp in there. Like and everything goes.
Because the guys are actually here for actual shits and giggles. But then when I was watching the video, I was like, oh, they're called flagrant.
You don't understand how flagrant.
No, but they're crazy flagrant. I think anyway, we'll get into it. All right. Comments from our listeners. So it's Never Shah says, I listened to the full episode and then the interview again in caps lock 2 exclamation points, so she means business. TDA keeps excelling with guests and Sasha was a cut above the rest. Period. Where's the horns for that? I'm so upset, Miss Sasha, man. It looked like a great episode.
She'll be back.
Oh, wonderful. I listen daily on Spotify, hence never calling in. So I guess you could call me a silent listener. No, do you know what? No, we're not doing this. We're not calling people that are not watching live silent listeners. Because I appreciate the stats. Do you know what I mean? So I guess you can call me a silent listener. A small step outside the tight-knit community. But I have to give you all your flowers. Keep up the outstanding work you all put in. Episodes like this further prove TMB will dominate the industry. Amen. Jesus will do it. Rose says, I believe I found you guys through Kelechi Okafor's Say Your Mind. Big up Kelechi. In fact, I saw Brent at Kelechi's show in Manchester. Yes. and basically recognise his voice. I find that so funny, you know. I've seen that happen in real time, where like Brent is like speaking and there's like someone behind him or something, and they do like a double take of like, don't I know that? Don't I know that voice somewhere? I'm like, are you Brent? So impressed with you guys' contribution to the culture. Killy Auntie from Brum, not Marx's. You know what? Yeah, I cannot. When I big up you guys, big up Roy, big up. I'm gonna guess Shah. Big up Shah. But yeah, how are you, sir, Emmanuel?
I'm alright, man. Can't
Good.
complain. I'm
Wonderful. Love that, love that. We've got a lot to get through today because we didn't get through much. Well, we got through enough yesterday.
So seen as Ed is supposed to be leading the topic of the day, and he's going
Ed?
to... Yes.
So Ed was really coming in.
He volunteered, he volunteered his
Services.
contribution. And now he's arriving at 9.
Sorry. Does Ed think he's a guest? You can't get this stuff, you know.
Tall.
And he suggested the topic of the day.
100%.
Let me even see what it is. It's some bullshit. Can't it?
It's on the title
What title?
of the actual stream.
Oh, so it's not on the topic of the day?
I don't think he might have changed it.
Oh, hold on. 1 second. Sorry, y'all. You know you could have read it to me all this time. I have to open my app first.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. Oh, Ed. What in the therapy is going on this morning? Okay. That's cute. I like that. Also, I love these graphic things that you do.
Yeah, but meaning to tell you,
They're so lit.
there's one you done specifically. Hold on.
'Cause when you-
the style of it was really sick. Hold on.
Because when you go on YouTube, because it obviously suggests so many different things, ours always stands out, and not just because it's TDA, but I just love it. It's
Okay.
really, really creative.
Thank you.
The one you done for I Got a Dilemma, Can You Help Me? The art style.
yeah,
for
that was sick.
Hard.
Yeah.
That was really
for
good. That
real.
was 2
It
days
was
ago.
like, yeah, it looked like it was, the style of it I really liked, kind of 2D, old school advert.
the bars
So
and-
yeah, I like that one.
Bars in hell. All right. Good morning, Daryl
so
Blake.
nice.
He just popped in.
Morning, Daryl. Where's the horns for Daryl?
Whilst you're here,
Can't just say good morning.
because it's not a coincidence. I don't believe in happenstance. Daryl, there were some booklets that you were gonna be sending through to the people who I think paid on the evening.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they're hounding me, Daryl. They're hounding me.
It's been one hound.
One.
Brent just got a little nudge. She's like, whoa!
Because obviously it's now jogged my memory.
Oh, yes.
And obviously the person also said, where's the t-shirt you said you're going to be sending us? Because I promised them all
Yes,
the t-shirt in it.
they're hounding you too.
And as you know, because I talked to you this morning, why
Oh.
this is holding up. You understand? Yeah. But you're not getting it. But the booklet,
Oh, that's
Daryl,
Oaks.
that's on you.
Yeah, you should have told him about the t-shirt part there. The day is crazy.
Always love, Daryl. Always love. All right.
Daryl says, yes, I'll have them for you on Monday.
Thank you very much.
Right. Big up Daryl Blake every
All the
single time. What a hero. Not all heroes wear capes, man.
All right.
All right. Should we get into today's business?
Let's do it.
Good. Oh, one jab. First
All right,
impression as well.
people.
Sorry. Ed, I was just cussing you. First impressions in the bin. I've never met Ed.
Oh, he went there that day, innit?
No, it was just
Oh,
me
he's
and
been
you.
here before.
Yeah.
Oh, this is why he's taking liberties.
Even the first time he was late.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, that
No, he
people.
lives in the south, though, innit?
Means nothing to him.
No, allow
It means
him.
nothing.
Allow him.
Where do you think I come from?
Exactly.
Huh? Where'd you come from?
I come
And
from
where are
South.
you coming from?
South.
All right then.
So what are you talking
What
about?
Oh, I'll just give him grace. innit?
Okay.
South,
Yeah, oh, now you want to give people grace.
to
No. There's no grace zone, apparently.
All right, people. So our first headline. Guess who's back in the news, man? Kemi Badenoch.
Oh, I
Nah,
saw.
I had a
I think I know what you're
list.
talking about.
I was running for a list in my head, you know. I was like, is it Trump? Is it Keir? Is it Boris? I heard about Boris in a while.
Boris should be making his
No,
comeback
hopefully
soon.
not.
I think he's warming up for the winter.
But yeah, Kemi Badenoch, she's claimed she grew up in a middle-class family, but she became working class after securing a job at McDonald's as a teenager.
That's not how it works.
According to her, it is. She
Dumbass.
morphed into it. She morphed into working class as soon as she
That's
stepped
not
into
how it works, Kemi.
Well, she told Chopper's political podcast with Christopher Hope that her time at McDonald's
Oh, she
was
was
the
in a podcast.
first time, yeah.
Sorry, there's something about people sitting in front of mics that just makes them start acting a damn fool. We need to. I hope the psychologists are at work on this one because that's crazy.
But yeah, she was speaking about her time at McDonald's and said it was the first time I ever interacted properly with people who didn't come from the sort of background that I came from. She went on to say, I grew up in a middle-class family, but I became working class when I was 16 working at McDonald's. Just understanding how many people there were single parents and they were working there to make ends meet.
Where did you go to? In school? Eton? From nursery? It has to be. It must be. So that means she's never been to Nigeria then? She must never have been. Though. She couldn't have. That's she can't talk like this. There's no way she could have been. Because if it took you working and getting a part-time job to see that there's people that live differently to you. So when she's driving, clearly she must have grown up in a Rolls Royce. When there was screwing around the Rolls Royce, she didn't see no homeless people. No.
Boy, who knows, man? But yeah, her comments quickly circulated online, with one Labour MP questioning Miss Badenoch's claim that she became working class. Chris Bryant, the MP for Rhondda and Ogmore, said, I'm not sure that's how it works. Later in the interview, Miss Badenoch said she never has gaffes or has to apologise for something. She also added, I never have to clarify because I think very carefully about what I say. Okay. So yeah, man. By the way, she's doing well in the whole Tory leadership thing.
You told Kemi?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's saying the right coon things. Of course she is. It's a strategy. Her publicist, her Olivia Pope told her, what you need to do is, just amp this up. I always find it funny how people always try to have like a struggle. I was thinking about that this morning, actually. People just love to have a struggle story. Like, I came from the church. You don't have, it's okay.
But do you know why? I think it's because it's the way to relate to people.
It's not. Especially when it's clear that you're lying. We just know you're full of shit. How are you telling me you became working class?
Well, I guess that's her experience.
Girl.
But yeah, our next headline, the wrongful arrest of sex education actor Reese Richards by the Met Police using pepper spray in West London is to be investigated by a watchdog. Mr. Richards, who appeared in a Netflix show and currently stars in the West End musical Hairspray, was returning home from a performance on the 4th of September when he says that he witnessed a car crash and two men fleeing on foot. He says that he pointed out to the police the direction in which the two men had fled, but that the officers kicked and threw him to the ground. The ILPC is investigating. The Met previously admitted pepper spray was used and said its Directorate of Professional Standards had been informed. Mr. Richards said that 4 police officers restrained him as he was returning home after his performance by sitting on him, which worsened existing injuries to his back, ribs and stomach. I wonder if they were wearing the whole body cam thing and if it's a similar experience to the black brother that was talking about when he got stopped. Remember?
Oh, the one that was with his wife in the car?
No, remember, was it last week?
The TikTok.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I wonder if they start saying, well, these things never happened. You know what I mean?
I feel like some of them just turn it off though.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's why, because then you just look more guilty.
But even in that guy's one, the one on TikTok, they said it was on the whole time. So they're saying, even with what I saw, with what they saw, the stuff he's saying that happened, didn't happen. It's insane.
I find stuff like that very interesting though, because it's all about like human perspective. But I feel like also as well, I think because they feel like, well, we didn't kill you. We didn't give you brain damage. We didn't shoot your leg. So is that violence?
So they're insane, man. And our last headline, Kamala Harris. She has suggested that she'll be open to exploring reparations for slavery. She's saying things that black people want to hear. This is foolishness.
They're silly now. Because I'm on Kamala's side. Kamala's going to win. I'm here for it. But sometimes don't do too much. So what was that thumbs down?
Nothing.
You had a cheek to say boo. Did you say boo?
I didn't say anything.
Audacity on you.
Question: You're laughing heartily. If
He really is. Can you imagine?
If Trump said that, would you come on here saying, "You see"?
No, it's a lie. No matter who says it.
Also, you're now up for basically calling out the lies that these two candidates are spouting?
I think I always do that though.
Really?
You know what it is? I think he might accident because Daryl was in the chat. I think Daryl Blake had him hold that flag of honour. Professor Brent Blake had him hold that flag of honour, and now he feels like he has said, no, Daryl, he's lying, okay? He's acting in front of company.
Daryl knows.
You know your parents acting in front of companies and act like things that don't run typically. I always find that funny. I'm like, girl, stop acting out. Yeah, that's what Iman is doing. So, but now you're calling out liars, boy.
Well, the US Vice President said that the country needed to speak truth about the generational impact of our history, citing the legacy of redlining policies and Jim Crow laws, as well as slavery. Miss Harris made the comments during an interview with reporters from the National Association of Black Journalists in Philadelphia, which the organization Donald Trump also addressed last month. Asked if she would use the executive powers of the presidency to create a commission to study reparations, she signaled her support for the idea. She said, we need to speak truth about the generational impact of our history in terms of the generational impact of slavery, the generational impact of redlining, of Jim Crow laws. She also said, I think that part of that is to study it to figure out exactly what we need to do. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. But that's it for our headlines.
All right, let's get into Word on Road.
I wonder what. Where's it all being sourced from?
Where's it what?
Where's it being sourced from?
Where is it being sourced from? All right, hold on. Let me just see what we're talking about today. We've got quite a bit. Okay, so Eve. I love Eve, you know. I don't know what it is about her. I just love her energy and her vibe, as in a rapper. What other Eve is there, actually, to be fair? Well, there's one from the Bible, but we know she was a snake. Anyways, yeah, so Eve, the rapper, she's got a new memoir called Who's That Girl? And I think that's just perfect. But anyway, she's been trending over a few days because she talks about a lot in there. She talks about marriage. She talks about, she's married to a billionaire. Beautiful scenes. She talks about like motherhood as well and like, you know, just dealing with that. She had a child later than when they say your eggs have expired. And then also one of the things that's really been, you know, making headlines was that she talked about, she basically reflected on a conversation she had with Jay-Z, and he was saying about female rappers basically. And he basically said to her that they don't really do that well. And, you know, she was, obviously people thought it was like a malicious thing, it was just him being a hater, blah, 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 blah. But she was on Breakfast Club a couple of days ago, and she said that he didn't mean that in a malicious way. It was just the reality of, based on what they had seen so far, is that, you know, sometimes you like a one-hit wonder and whatever else. But, you know, Eve is literally a legend, so it's all good, it's all great. But yeah, big up Eve. I love her for all that she does. Miley Cyrus and Bruno, well, not Bruno Mars. So Miley Cyrus has a song called Flowers. I don't know if you guys have heard it. It's a banger. She won a Grammy for it. And then Bruno Mars has a song from years ago called When I Was Your Man. So basically, Miley Cyrus is being sued by the producers, I believe, that worked on When I Was Your Man. So it's not actually Bruno Mars that's suing her. It's people behind Temper Music Investments, them people. So anyways, they're suing her because they're basically saying that she copied the song. So I listened to the song, obviously did my research to see what it is that what we're copying here. I don't think it's copying. I think what it is, so she's singing about flowers. So a lot of people publicly know that she was with, is it Liam Hemsworth? Is it Hemsworth? Yeah. Is it Hemsworth? Yeah, she was with a Liam anyway. Not the One Direction one, the more mature phenotype. But yeah, she was with him and they had like a whole relationship thing and they were meant to get married and it was a blah, 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 blah. It was a whole thing. So I believe that song is actually about him or their relationship or whatever it was. And obviously with Bruno, so with that one, she's talking about how she's going to buy herself her flowers. You know, essentially what her man didn't do, she's going to do for herself. Then obviously in Bruno Mars' song, when he talked about When I Was Your Man, he was talking about, you know, he should have bought her flowers. And it's just two people reflecting on a relationship and flowers. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to keep an eye on because it is very interesting how with music, people want to sue people because they think it sounds similar and sounds but music is music. And when it comes to flowers and women, everyone knows that a lot of women like flowers. So is it that deep if a guy is singing that he should have bought a girl who likes flowers and a woman is singing that she would like to receive flowers? I don't know, man. But
is it to do with the lyrics or the beat?
So they're saying the lyrics and kind of like the rhythm of it all.
Oh, so it's probably like an interpolation as opposed to
yeah. So they're trying to say that she feels like she's like remixing it.
Yeah, it's the same thing that Pharrell got done with from the Marvin Gaye estate.
Yeah, basically. Okay. I mean, you can kind of hear it a little bit, but I don't know if that's because I listen to it back to back.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Okay, yeah.
But also, I don't know it's because I know that they're suing them. So now I'm subconsciously trying to find. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, but anyway, everyone won Grammys for the songs. Everyone mind your business. Cardi B, no, not Cardi B. Sorry, I'll talk about that tomorrow. Oh yeah, so shits and gigs. Andrew Schultz. Obviously, the shits and gigs stuff's been going on for a few days now, where basically, if you don't know, initially, so Shits and Gigs are UK podcasts. They literally chat shit and giggle about it. I would say they blew up mainly from the TikToks where they do reactions. They basically ask like questions or they do reactions to like questions that they've seen or threads that they've seen, that kind of stuff. Cool. So anyways, the podcast is really, really big, whatever. They went on a tour. They sold out the O2 in the UK. I spoke about that because that's absolutely phenomenal. And then they went on a tour in the US and I believe Canada as well. I think they've got a second leg of it. Obviously, I don't know what's gonna happen with that. So I don't know. But anyways, they've done part of it. And when they were on tour, they were on some American podcasts, as you do whilst you're there. Cool. So they were on a podcast with these two ladies, Poor Minds podcast, and they basically said that whilst they've been in Atlanta, they haven't seen any baddies. So this is where all of this started, right? They said they didn't see no baddies. People were like, oh my gosh, I know what you are as an LOL, blah, 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 the kind of women you guys date, blah, blah, blah. And then it just went into, let's see what else they're saying. Because I guess, obviously, Atlanta there's a lot of black people in Atlanta. So if you're saying you're not seeing no baddies, I guess people interpreted that as you don't think the women there are buff. Mm-hmm. Possibly. So they're now saying that this is how, that you guys don't find black women attractive, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes into a whole of, oh, here's how they talk about black women. And here they were on Andrew Schultz's Flagrant podcast. Is it Flagrant 2 or Flagrant?
Flagrant 2.
Yeah.
Flagrant 2. It's like the second version of the podcast, just Flagrant 2.
Let's go Flagrant 2.
Okay. All right. So they're on Flagrant 2 and whatever. And then because there's a conversation happening about black women. And essentially, Andrew Schultz is insinuating that he asked them, do they date black and white? And they just said equal opportunities. They don't discriminate. Mm. And then he was basically like poking them, saying stuff like, the reason why you guys go white is because black women are violent. They hit their men. They did that. All that kind of, just all those crazy stereotypes. I've been honest, I haven't even heard those stereotypes. I didn't know we apparently hit men. I thought we were just nagging. I didn't know we'd upgraded.
That's where it started from.
What, the nagging?
Do you know what it was? It was that whole, you know that whole silly thing online where if you date a black woman, it steps up your... If a white man dates a black woman...
Oh yes, they glow up.
Yeah, that's it.
The black effect. Also, that's a real thing. I went down a rabbit hole on TikTok. That's a real thing. These whites became spicy whites. Like, they elevated. It's a real thing. But yeah, so that's how it started, about how they elevate, you know, and then... So then what's black men got to do with it?
Because he was talking about basically, that's when they start obviously having their shape-ups or whatever, having their beards to cushion the slaps they get from the black women, all that stupid crap.
Sorry,
so that's what he was, that's what he was saying.
Yeah,
and
that's
obviously
what
them man were laughing and all that stuff.
So yeah, so basically the boys were laughing and whatever else.
Sorry,
but
who said that?
Andrew Schultz.
He said that.
He said that. And then the one black boy and the mixed race boy were giggling. But I feel like they looked a bit uncomfortable. So anyways, that happened. Then people, Brent is looking at me.
Oh,
are you trying to remember?
Black boy and Bristol people as in Shits and Gigs.
I'm talking about Shits and Gigs.
All right, cool.
Who do you think was uncomfortable? Andrew?
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the
Andrew's
two cast.
No. The cast. Okay. The cast were on the cast and Andrew. When I say Andrew, I mean Andrew and all of them that's there.
Yeah.
The Indian boy, the black boy, the other white guy.
Yeah.
All of them. They're all Andrew, right? Because they're defo his bitches. But anyways.
Word.
So then Shits and Gigs, I feel like they looked a bit uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable, not enough not to laugh. Do you get me? And whatever else. And they were like, whatever. So anyway, so it then led people down a rabbit hole. Then they're finding clips of Shits and Gigs from their podcast back in the day where James was talking about how he was bullied by black women and blah, blah, blah. But there was a comment that he made, something about, so basically, Fu had, this is another one that was just bad. Fu had was talking about how he was talking to this white girl. Yeah, black wife effect. Thank you, PK. Fu had was talking about how he was dating this white girl. And her whole thing was she wanted to have mixed race kids. But she was like, I need to have... I know Christy's shaking her boots, so my sis. She was like, I need to have mixed race kids. I need to have... So he was talking about that, blah, blah. And then... But then he was like, he was still going to sleep with her because he was already sleeping with her. That wasn't going to change anything, blah, 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 blah. Cool. But then James said something like, first of all, if you're... Basically just said about a black woman... not being able to date a black man, something like that anyway. I can't remember exactly the comment, but something like that anyway. So anyways, it's just let people down the rabbit hole, blah, 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 blah. The boys at one of the latest podcasts that came out on Monday, apologized, did like a little quick clip, apologized. And what they said about the Andrew Schultz thing, they said obviously a lot's been going on over the weekend. They want to apologize. They feel like they have a duty. And I feel that one's a bit funny for me. but they said that they feel like they have a duty to protect their audience and look after them and whatever else, blah, blah, blah. So they definitely failed in that. And they're also saying that when they were on the podcast, there was a few things that they had to move on from. And they're basically saying that it was an uncomfortable situation for them to have been in. And there was things where they had to just be like, bro, move on. Which kind of insinuated that there was things that they would have had to cut off. Because, you know, if they're talking and they're like, no, we don't want to talk about that, I would imagine they would edit those parts out. Cool. Basically said that, but then also just, I would say they kind of put the onus as well on, they made it clear that Andrew is a piece of shit, basically in that. Anyways, now Andrew and his boys have decided to listen to podcasts. But then obviously they've been hearing what's going on. And they've then decided to play the apology. And these guys are cooking them. Absolutely cooking shits and gigs. As in Andrew and his boys. Cooking shits and gigs, laughing at them. And I think what was interesting was that they were like, they basically found it funny how they tried to blame them. Because they were like, because the guys basically said that they wanted to, thank you. So Pris says, James said if she was black men wouldn't date her. That was what he said. Yeah, in the clip.
Who's the she? As in...
No, he was talking about, so this was when he was talking about he was just talking about black women. It was an episode talking about black women and when he was bullied by black women. And then this is when Fuhad was talking about the white woman that was...
Okay.
Had a fetish. That's what we need to be calling it. Fetishizing black men. And then the conversation shifted again to black women. And he basically just said, with black women, first of all, if you're a black woman, a black guy wouldn't be dating you, essentially. So there was that. So they're basically laughing at their apology, making jokes about it. Because the boys basically said they thought they were coming on the podcast to have a great time, to just have fun, have boy talk. So they joked about that as well, about, so I guess they want to come in here and talk about their feelings and talk about, you know, what are you grateful for today? And hella jokes. But what I found interesting, and which people are cooking them extra cooking shits and gigs for, is that Andrew said that the producer would interrupt at certain points to say, no, they don't want to talk about that. Don't want to talk about that. Yeah. But also as well, after the episode, they sent them bits and said, take this part out, take that part out, take that part out. So Andrew was like, you don't want to take out all these parts, but you ain't never take out the part about black women. Here's my theory. Because they didn't think they did anything wrong. Because the reality is that
100%.
People make jokes at the expense of black women constantly. Furthermore, anyway, this episode's been out for like 2-3 months now.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it's not a new episode. It's been out for 2-3 months. So with podcasts I listen to, if I listen to a podcast and I see them like link up and whatever, or if a podcast I don't typically listen to, if they have someone I like and I follow on socials, I will listen to that episode. So with Shits and Gigs, I know they've had a podcast episode with Uncut Podcast. I listen to that. They've been on Receipts. Listen to that. They've been on Free Shots. I listen to that because of people that I would listen to anyway. However, I saw the one with Andrew and his racist friends, but I wasn't going to listen to that because I know what Andrew is like, and I'm not going to. It's not enough for me to listen just because Shits and Gigs is on there, basically. Okay. So what was I saying before that? So people are basically cooking them because they didn't cut that part out, but it's because people are so easy. Black women are the easiest people, or people believe that black women are the easiest to disrespect. So when they're cutting things out, honestly, if I'm gonna just be real, they didn't think anything bad about what they said. They didn't think anything bad because I'm sure they would have watched the episode back after it came out, because they would have gone to see what the comments, whether the audience received. I'm like, they would have done all of that stuff. It wasn't a problem for them. The only reason why sometimes it's a problem, and this is why when it comes to cancelling people, I like to have productive conversations, because the root of this is the fact that people always think they can make jokes about black women. Like, consistent. We see it in film. We see it in those stupid little internet comedians. I think they're funny. You're not funny. We see it in people wearing wigs, and like, black women are always the target audience for disrespect. So of course they didn't ask to take that part out. The only reason why it's now a big thing is because you're getting cooked for it. So that part didn't shock me. Obviously, people are shocked by that. Personally, I'm not shocked by it. But I will say, like, I feel like the more that comes out is just all very disgusting. At the start of this, when I reported it on Monday, when it was just the whole baddies in Atlanta thing, I just felt like, okay. Like,
when did that deep?
I just didn't feel like it was that deep. They didn't see baddies. Maybe their eyes were closed. It's not that deep. But I feel like the more we go into it now, it's just not it. But also as well, when we were talking about their audiences, Brent, so what I think it is, because I'm very fascinated by the audience. I did not think this many black women in the US, because really and truly, there's also as well, I feel like, so before I get back to that, the reason why they wouldn't afford to take that out is because in UK podcasts, it's very, very it's common for people to disrespect black women. There isn't really that much uproar when people disrespect. Like, you know, Keith's been cooked a few times. Claims a social experiment. That's been about it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like over here in the UK, there's not really consequences for podcasters, but male podcasts that disrespect black women. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, nothing ever happens. I feel like they took that mindset to the US, but obviously the US sisters, they don't play. But yeah, I've never seen, I didn't, because I think what it is as well, because basically Scotty Beam asked, she said, to people that are shocked at this, she said, did you guys never know that this is how they spoke about black women? Like, what is it? And a lot of people were saying no, is they watch their TikToks. So they never really listened to like full episodes. So the only clips they will listen to are the ones that they put on their TikTok, which is about them reacting to like a question of the day or whatever it is. So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, do you get me? Do you get what I'm trying to say, Brent? So I feel like with their audience, I feel like it's more of a TikTok audience. And I think this is what's made people, because I don't know if a lot of the Patreon subscribers are black women. Do you get what I mean? But the more and more they go into it, it's just, it's distasteful, man. Shy for all parties involved. And I wonder what it's going to be like, because I heard they took their apology down. I haven't gone to check, but I heard they took their apology down. About the 100th episode thing, someone was saying that no, that it's actually always been in a different section of their YouTube. So it's not that they took it down. But I just think, yeah, man, it's distasteful. But I feel like anything that will get people to stop disrespecting black women, I'm here for. Sometimes people just got to be a scapegoat. And sometimes you just got to take that L, man. But what are your thoughts?
Sorry, man. I know it's a dark day for you.
Brent, it's a lot.
I'm sorry, man. I'm really
It's a
sorry.
heavy day.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Well, you know, people can change, right?
Or you can
just
change.
wake up the next day and start respecting black women, right?
I don't know, you know. I don't believe in that.
You don't believe in change?
I believe in change, but I think that change has to be progressive. I don't think that... So basically, if someone that was disrespecting black women today, tomorrow, well, nearly loses... They call for their head today, but then tomorrow you start respecting black women, I will always question your motive for respecting black women. I'm not saying it can't come from a genuine place, but it's just a bit interesting. Especially when you look at the age of people. I give people grace for things that they did when they were younger. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're 15, 16, 18 even early, even like 20, I'll give you grace for that because your brain is still developing. But I think that the older you get, because I said this yesterday, how I feel like, I don't know whether Shits and Gigs listen to other podcasts. I don't know what kind of podcasts they listen to and stuff like that. But we've seen this dance of people getting cancelled for the way they disrespect black women. And I just feel like as a more modern podcast, there's no reason for you to ever be in that situation because you know how it goes. Even if you don't, because that's another thing. Some of you, some of the podcasters I'm seeing talking, some of you don't respect black women either.
All right.
You're just very good at masking it. You're just very good. You are aware of the climate. You're aware that they'll get you out of here. So you're very good at concealing your disrespects. You're very good at when the camera comes on, you say, oh my gosh, yay, black women, advocate for black women. When the camera goes off, you're a cheat. You're a cheat. You disrespect black women. You do all sorts of black women. That's not respecting black women. Personally. So some of you are just adding to it. And again, I know some people don't like this angle, but also some of you are just jealous. Some of you are haters. Some of you have been waiting for their downfall because you hate the success that you see them have. And I actually feel that that's how Andrew Schultz felt, you know. I don't believe he wanted to have them on there to actually kumbaya and stuff. I feel like they came on there, he wanted to sun them. It was that kind of like...
120%.
Especially after... You remember, I don't know if you... Do you remember that list thing that came out? Where Breakfast Club was number 1,
Okay.
Shits and Gigs was number 2, Joe Budden was number 3.
Yeah, I remember. You talking about it.
Yeah, I remember we spoke about it. I think this was last year, and I think it was like top podcasts.
Was it early this year? Was it last
Or
year?
was it? You know, all the years that Murphy's won.
Yeah.
It's only Christmas
I think
is
it was a
one.
while ago.
It was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest, was it in the US or was it in the world?
You,
It was the world. They did
Was the
two. I think
world?
it was
you
two,
sure?
right? Didn't they do a world
I think it
one?
was the US.
The US,
Okay.
Because
Which is the world, essentially.
basically.
well,
Yeah.
To be
but
fair.
Budden has a lot more reach around the world. Andrew Schultz, I don't think so. I don't
But
think
yeah.
he bangs. Man.
Yeah, but I remember Breakfast Club was number 1. I remember Charlemagne posted it.
Yeah.
That's how I then saw Shits and Gigs. I remember Shits and Gigs were number 2. Other number 2 and number 3. And then Joe Budden was on there as well. So I feel, I don't know what number Flagrant was. But I personally feel like anyway that Andrew, he's such a piece of shit. Like, he's just such a piece of actual scum. Like, when he was talking, like, I was so angry. I was like, you have never been humbled in your life.
Yeah, can we break this down?
Please.
All right. So Andrew Schultz is not Jewish. I see a lot of people
Sounds
not
better.
Jewish.
Yeah, it's not.
Schultz, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's like Schmidt from New Girl. Mm-hmm. Can you get some
That's why
air
everyone
quickly and
assumes
speak?
it.
Oh,
Yeah, so he's not Jewish.
okay. Where's he from?
He grew up around a lot of Jews, though.
Does he
in
make
New York.
Jewish jokes?
He makes every
100%
single
he
joke
makes
under the
Jewish.
sun.
Because I thought he was Jewish because he was making Jewish jokes.
Every
Okay.
single joke under the sun, that particular room, that den,
Yeah.
everybody gets
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Everybody gets it.
I think the Indian guy is a bigger coon than the
He's a
black guy, you
prick.
know.
The
He's
Indian
a
guy.
prick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
He just
Akash.
sucks his
Singh.
ass. Yeah, he just
Akash.
sucks
Is he
Andrew
Indian
Schultz.
or is he
It's
Pakistani
nasty.
or what is he?
He's Indian.
He's Indian. So, all right,
Nasty behavior.
why do you not like him?
I don't like anyone that kisses ass to anyone. I've just seen him, like, he laughs at jokes that aren't funny just as like a side piece, like a backup dancer. I just hate people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Yeah. And Esther,
Yes.
let's break down the when you were watching him.
As
It's because he
human
just looks like a
Do you know what it is?
racist Hitler.
What?
Because that mustache, it gives a vibe, right?
Want a trend
It's,
today,
I
boy.
think
Why does
you
he keep
mean
it on his what? Why does he keep it there?
you mean more so his aura, like his confidence. It's
not
The type
confidence.
of guy that he is.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
confidence.
yeah.
He's like, he's just, it's
He
like,
exudes dickhead.
yes.
Yeah.
Like he looks,
I think he
acts,
knows.
speak. No, he definitely
Yeah,
does.
definitely
But
does.
I feel like
Definitely
I feel like he happily sits in that. I'm the dickhead in this room. Like
Yeah.
I'm always gonna be the dickhead in every circle I'm in. Like I feel like he takes pride in the fact that this is who I am. Like I'm just a dickhead. And like I can't stand guys. I can't stand people like that. I can't stand people like that. But his ego, he makes me sick. Because I've never actually heard him speak. Because basically, actually, when I think about it, what is that he's got with Charlemagne? Brilliant Idiots, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I like Charlemagne.
Yeah.
I like Charlemagne a lot. So I tried to listen to that because Charlemagne was on it. I said, who is this guy? So I didn't. For the sake of Charlemagne, I said, no, I'm going to stick with Breakfast Club. There's more people on Breakfast Club that I like than this when it's just two, one person, two idiots. I'm not doing this, basically. So I've never actually heard him speak for long enough.
All right. So you
So that
haven't
12-minute
even
clip-
taken you haven't taken much of him in at all.
I took too much.
Only in clips, right?
No. Like I've taken I feel like the 12-minute one really did my head in, and I was like, yeah, like through that I can never again. Like I can't explain how much it just irritated my soul. So then I started to think, do you know what? Maybe this is how other people. Do you know the people that are like, oh my gosh, off with their heads when they want to cancel people? Maybe this is how they feel, because I don't feel like this often. But like maybe this is how they feel when they watch things, but those things are like more, because there's not many things that not that there's not many things I care about, but like I'm not losing. Remember the whole thing yesterday we were talking about if someone said they don't find Nigerian women attractive, like I'm not losing my shit for that. Like that's not evoking the annoyance that it evoked from me when I was watching Andrew. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I started to think maybe this is why people feel the way they feel, and so
Yeah.
obviously I just turned the video off and carried on my day, and the annoyance disappeared. But
Yeah.
not everyone does.
So did you seeing as you've only taken him in little clips,
In little
right?
doses.
I guess you haven't heard him when it is Black Lives Matter was going on.
Oh, I couldn't hear him during Black Lives Matter.
Interesting.
I couldn't, Brent.
What do you think his take was?
I feel like he was basically saying that. I feel like he would probably. It depends. Actually, no. I feel like it would depend on who he's speaking to. I feel like if he was speaking to Charlemagne, as in Charlemagne that we know now who's a mental health advocate and all that kind of stuff, I don't think he would talk as brazen as he was when he's talking to his puppets on Flagrant. So in my mind, is this his take on Flagrant?
On Flagrant, not with Charlemagne.
I feel like he would be making inappropriate jokes. I feel like even like say with George Floyd stuff, in my mind, he'd be saying stuff like, what could I imagine him saying? I just feel like he would just put the onus on the black person, like, why didn't you just stop? When they say put your hand up, why didn't you just put your hand up? Like, I can't see him having a serious conversation and being an advocate for Black Lives Matter in that way.
So you really feel he's a racist man?
I do.
Interesting.
Gotta look through it.
How about you, Ramsey?
Nah, I think he's more media trained. Like he's quite in the comedy scene. He's quite big. I don't think he'll be able to get as far as he has if he was that racist. I think he hides behind the guise of I'm just saying this is comedy. I can say whatever I want to say.
But you do believe he's racist? If he's hiding behind the
Yes, I was
guise,
gonna
you're
ask you that.
suggesting that he's racist.
But he's able to disguise it.
I don't know. I don't know.
But I feel like I
He's
feel
not
like
like Trump racist or anything like that. I just feel like he. That's a good question, isn't it?
you think so.
He's
You
not.
don't think he's
No, he's
Trump
not.
racist?
No. He's not. From the limited knowledge I know of him, he's still quite liberal. But he just says a lot of dickhead shit. I think he's just very narcissistic. From what I've seen of him, he's very narcissistic. But no, I don't. If I had to guess, he would definitely say he was pro Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah. How about you, Manuel?
I'm trying to remember. I feel like I heard him speak about it, you know, but I can't remember though.
But is he pro Black Lives Matter when it's a man, or was he pro Black Lives Matter when it was Breonna Taylor as well, when it's women as well?
It's that too.
That's interesting.
And because I only ask only because I'm gauging your opinion has been obviously framed by the clips in which it is
Yeah,
that
'cause
you've seen of him.
Well, kind of. It's not limited. She's had limited exposure to him. So she's only got one thing to
yeah.
base her comment.
But this
But I
is
feel
what
like
I'm saying.
But I feel like
Exactly
also
what
though,
I'm saying.
I feel like also mocking them though for apologizing to black women that were clearly offended. That doesn't give me someone that is pro Black Lives Matter.
So basically, he was called a racist by Shits and Gigs. They tried to throw Flagrant 2 under the bus.
No, but they didn't try to throw them on that. I feel like all parties did what they did. Like I feel like James Fuller should have taken more accountability. I feel like it's a bit weak to be like. I think, do you know what it is? I think knowing that they took some stuff out, it's interesting that they went with the verse of, we were in that moment like, oh my gosh, just move on. Like, I feel like what their apology should have been was like, we didn't know this was offensive. We didn't understand how this was offensive. I feel like that should have been their angle, rather than we were in an uncomfortable situation. And we just wanted to move on. Because they were like, oh, we just wanted to move on. But when you come to find out that you asked for certain things to be taken out, surely that part as well, you should have asked for that to be taken off or taken out. Do you get what I mean? So their angle should have always been, do you know what? We didn't. To be fair though, James did say that sometimes you don't realize how you can be the one who unintentionally hurts your own community. But I think they should have come on a we didn't realize how offensive and how hurtful this can be for black women.
That's it. Yeah.
Rather than try and move like Andrew was being racist and you guys were so uncomfortable, you didn't know what to say and you just sat there.
Yep.
But then come to find out that you had other parts that you said they should remove. So that's why I'm like, I don't think it's a thing where they threw Andrew under the bus. I feel like they're all all of them they all did that. They all just having the day that they deserve. I feel like it's hitting Shits and Gigs worse than it is Andrew though. But I don't think that even Andrew feeling like he was thrown under the bus is reason for him to laugh at black women being respected through an apology. That's not because did he end up, because you said you listened to before and after, did he end up apologizing then for anything? Because
No.
remember he said he wasn't going to apologize for nothing.
No, you're not going to go on Flagrant and hear any apology.
Exactly.
Morning. This is your seat over here. You're not going to hear, and this is what I'm saying. The environment and the community that they've built, it's all jokes. There is no, let's check our
temperature.
There's none whatsoever. That's why I said that they should have never even been put on that podcast in the first place. So, question.
When you say put on though, Brent, why
There's
you
no
say like that?
should have been on that platform because it's not right fit for their brand. Okay. I feel like just because Andrew Schultz is a big platform, they're a big platform. Yeah. Sometimes people's managers and PR, whoever it is, just think, so you're big, okay, go together. But it doesn't align with your brand because it doesn't align with their brand. They should be on podcasts where it's they just joke about, they just play about, it's just light chat. But then also though, the guys did say they thought that's what they were going there for. Is that what the conversation is like usually? They're like, just boy chat. But then people think that's boy chat though. Like the conversation that they're getting cooked for, people see that as boy chat.
So question, in your girl chats, Do you all cook men?
We talk about experiences, and if it happens to be cooking, we talk about experiences with men.
So essentially, kind of what I'm hearing, and me asked the question and said, can every other joke run apart from what you're offended by?
No.
So, and that's why they say, don't come here if it is you're not basically.
Yeah,
free
but do you
to
know what it is that? But I
demonstrate.
feel like no, but I think any jokes run any people can joke about stuff, whatever. But I think joking about black women being perpetrators of domestic violence
as a stereotype, because that's.
But you know what's mad? I don't know. Is that an American? I've never heard that stereotype about black women being. I've heard about them being crazy and
Angry black women.
Angry black women, but it's always been more to do with your like attitudes and stuff. I've never connected it to actual violence. Saying that they're growing their beards out to hide marks.
To cushion the blow.
To cushion blows is wild. So
Yeah.
I've never heard that. Maybe I don't know. But I've never actually heard the stereotype of black women actually hitting.
Men. So in my head, not to basically justify anything that.
Yeah, that's
Andy
fine.
said,
Yeah.
He's just turned up that dial of if that is true, then I can connect it to this. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that's how his brain works. In fact,
Yeah.
all them there do the same thing. They're like, and they all tag.
Yeah.
But that's flagrant too. Do you
Yeah.
understand? And that's why I said they should have never been put in that environment.
Yeah, man. It's
He
crazy.
was sunning them the entire episode. You asked them about politics, they didn't know about politics.
Does he usually talk about politics?
Affairs, they didn't know about world affairs.
Or does he usually talk about those things?
Who?
Andrew?
Yes.
No, they need to really think about whoever it was that told them to go in there.
It was a big mess up. Big mess up.
They could have just told him to pull the episode. But then I don't know, man. It's a shame. I don't think they've made any other statements since then.
I think they'll be right, to be honest.
We should say gigs.
Yeah, they'll recover.
I think so. 'Cause There's no
Always forgetting
consequence for disrespecting black women anyway. Unfortunately. Yeah, they haven't made any other statements. Yeah, there's never really consequences for disrespecting black women. So I honestly think they'll be fine. Unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, but it is what it is,
They'll
isn't it?
recover.
But
All right.
oh, and then gosh, I don't even have him tired now. Diddy. Basically, to cut a long story short, Diddy's been denied bail twice. So the appeal that they tried to appeal, the judge said no. So what he actually put on, what they proposed for his bond was $50 million. And that was co-signed by him, his mum, his sister, the mother of his oldest daughter, and his 3 adult sons. Does that include Albie Shaw's child? I hate that he's involved with this. I just hate it.
But for years, it's been Diddy's son, isn't it?
Yeah, but sometimes, man. What else is there? Also, his mum's house. He said his travel will be restricted. Do you know what I found so funny though? It's just a bunch of old things. They took some of their passports and whatnot. What I found funny was that they proposed that he wouldn't have. He basically wanted to be house arrested, right?
Mm.
And obviously said he won't fly. He's planning to sell his private jet and whatever. So he wouldn't abscond or whatever. But what I found funny was the fact that they put a proposition to the judge that he wouldn't have women over. I said, you are on trial for your life for sex trafficking. And you're saying, okay, judge, just to let you know how serious I am, I will have no female friends around except the mother of my kids. Boy, bye. Anyways, that's what's happening. He's basically facing a RICO charge. They basically say what is basically happening here is that they're saying that he's running a whole what's the word one can even use? What's the word?
Is it a ring?
Yeah. Like every single operation that he's ever been involved in is involved in.
It's all linked.
It's all linked. Sorry, trigger warning. But it's all linked to sex trafficking. It's all linked to prostitution. Wow. It's all linked to narcotics. It's all linked to threatening people, to all the stuff's going on. But I think, yeah, man, it's just crazy. I think the details of it, I don't know if I want to get into the details of it. It's just all nasty. I would definitely say just look up because it is very, very triggering stuff. And just all that stuff. And I remember actually when people were saying, oh, because he settled with Cassie in less than 24 hours, that doesn't mean you're guilty of that. Okay, well, how's that going for you? How is that working out for you? But yeah, basically, he's been denied bail. He's gonna have to stay there till they have the charges. He's looking at life, man. He's basically looking at life. He's looking at life. I think, yeah. I don't know if... So basically, also with his arrest as well, he was actually meant to turn himself in. Mm-hmm. So that was also another thing they were doing in good faith to show the authorities that they were actually cooperating with them. Mm-hmm. So he was meant to turn himself... So he got arrested on Monday, wasn't it? I think he was meant to... Yeah, he was meant to turn himself in on Tuesday. But then they arrested him earlier based on other intel, whatever it is. But he was already in New York. So he's had like... He's so strategic because he's been trending it for a few days now, where he's like doing like nice things, like he's out with his families, he's talking to fans on the streets, and the cameras have just happened to be there to capture these nice interactions and whatnot. But obviously, it's because he knew that he was about to be. But I don't know what he thought that was going to do. That was never going to help. Like, that's not going to change your image. You're still a piece of shit. You're a sicko. That wasn't going to change anything. But yeah, what they're saying, what the charges are, is absolutely crazy, absolutely mad. I think it goes beyond the rumors people have always heard about him, like to the point where like it's just crazy how it's actually a whole operation from when like they're giving people drugs without them knowing, to then people that forcing them to have sex for endless hours on end, and then having IV drips to rehydrate them because they're so dehydrated. Like, do you know what I mean? Like all these things just. It's like it's all planned. Even the whole baby oil and lube situation, 1,000 bottles of it. Like, it's like, it's mad because they're basically saying that how his staff would go to hotels that he's going to be at and prep things. Yeah. Like, before he gets there, everything is prepped and sorted, and he can just come in. And obviously, a lot of it as well is him filming people. And it's just so funny because one of his kids is really, really dumb. You know, when you just have dumb kids sometimes. Remember when the raid happened and his son was like, oh, they didn't mean this house, they meant the house over there. What are you talking about? But anyway, it'd be interesting to see what it is that happens with it. Obviously, there's a lot of people. They're saying there's a lot of people on the tape. Also, last week I talked about so Dawn Richards, who was part of Dirty Money, the group with Kalina, whatever her name is, and I talked about how Kalina basically released a statement to say that because basically in Dawn's lawsuit, she's mentioned like 33 times. Talking about the things that they witnessed, blah, blah, blah. Not talking about Kalina's experience, just talking about her experience, but also saying this was also who was present in the room at the time. Okay. And Kalina came forward with a statement no one asked her to do, talking about, oh, you know, I'm not involved and she doesn't want her name associated with things. Also had the audacity to say that her experience with Diddy does not represent what this lawsuit is. Come to find out, Diddy called her like 54 times in one day. He's got like over 100. I think what the information out at the moment is saying that he's contacted her like over 120 something times. But in one single day, he rang her 54 times. And this was before she released that stupid statement. And I remember as well, I said when I talked about the statement, she released the statement. Her husband, is also boys with Diddy. So of course you're always gonna come out and invalidate that woman. So but now you just look like a damn fool. Coming out saying all of this stuff, and now everyone knows you're a liar. But I don't know because I want to know how they had the information that he rang her that many times. So I don't know whether she's also working with the police and whatnot. I just think anyone that's involved, I just think it's best to just work with the police. But I reckon there's a lot of people that are working with the police on it. Because I feel like there's not many people. Typically when things happen, there's a way that celebrities go, like you just hear people comment so much commentary. But I don't think it's as... We're not hearing that much commentary with Diddy. I would say it's more that normal people than his peers. But I think that's because his peers don't been at the parties.
But do you also think it could be that his peers think there's a chance he'll get off? And so if he gets off...
Anyone that thinks, this man could get off...
Oh, well, you don't think he's done?
That is the height of delulu. That is like they have unlocked another level of delusional that the psychiatrists haven't even studied. There's no way anyone could. If he goes scot-free and nothing happens, then boy, he must know I don't know who he knows. He goes.
Let's hope he survives in prison.
Oh wait, sorry, put the mic towards you.
Yeah.
Sorry, hope he survives in prison.
Okay, so I have a theory about that.
So it might be another Epstein situation.
Thank you very much. You said exactly what I was saying. I don't think he's
And
going
it'll be a
to.
guy from the hood or something, or Tupac fan, so-called Tupac fan.
Or Biggie fan or something. That did something.
Yeah.
I think that because basically what people are doing now online is that they're getting pictures of everybody that's ever been around Diddy. Every single person. They even got a clip. Because you know how people always say like, oh, Beyonce and Jay-Z are never involved in these things. Obviously Jay-Z's there. I think Jay-Z's there is coming anyway.
But what about that voice
What's
note?
the name of that?
I found that quite interesting, that the security guard had so-called against the door. I listened to it.
What with Meek Bill, yeah?
Oh, that one.
Alleged.
Was that real?
I'm sorry.
What voice note?
There was like,
Oh, you don't know about the voice note?
No.
Sorry, I didn't
Brent
mean to
could
come
play
here
it.
and drop this as a newcomer.
This is good. But just say allegedly so we all don't get
Allegedly, of course. Of course, this is all my personal opinion. But the ex-security guard said, look, you know, he literally said it on camera, I wanted to rinse Diddy due to obviously the wealth that he has. And when I found out he was involved in so-called sexual activities, he wanted to document it. So when so-called Diddy was in a room with Meek, he put the phone up and then you can just hear loads of slapping. Sounds like bum cheeks colliding.
Colliding.
Great.
Yeah, do you like the colliding?
Colliding is hilarious.
It's like crazy, yeah.
And and also you could, it just says that, and he's saying daddy as well, because obviously he calls him daddy a lot, which is always very weird.
Who calls him daddy?
P Diddy calls everyone that.
Meek's been calling P Diddy daddy for ages.
Meek's been calling.
Did he? Yeah.
I thought Diddy was calling because Diddy calls Nori daddy.
Yeah, because Nori's a bit, I don't know, maybe a little bit older than him and he's old school.
So
But
Meek
because-
calls Diddy daddy.
Yeah, because he's new school, isn't it? Meek's the new school.
Yo.
Obviously, Puff Daddy's showing him the way and
Daddy
stuff.
or Zaddy?
But
Zaddy, the whole other thing. But to be fair, they were outside wearing matching outfits, but that's not alleged. We saw the pictures, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Always wearing matching outfits.
And
It's sad.
And the outfits were very suspects as well.
You seen already? What's his name? Kevin Lowes has just quit.
yeah, I heard about that as well.
Like literally hours after the.
Insane.
But you know what? Someone had a list though of number of people that have quit since he got arrested. I don't know. Obviously, the person was like, I don't know if it's all linked, but there's been. I think I retweeted it actually. But it was like it was a list. It was like over 20 people from like different type of companies and whatever else. I do think. I personally think the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. 'Cause I don't think. Anyway, yeah, I think that I don't know if he's going to do his time alive and well. Like R. Kelly singing out the prison bars. Because R. Kelly keeps singing. So I don't know. I don't mean snitching. I mean actually like singing to his fans outside. But I don't know if he's good. This man was taking birthday requests. Like, are you okay? Anyway, he's not. But I don't know if he's going to actually get to do his jail sentence.
Yeah, well,
Because I feel like he knows so much.
yeah, exactly. That was another situation where they, was it Cosby as well?
Yeah.
I think it's 2-1 actually with us at the moment. They got
do you mean?
Epstein, we got Cosby and Diddy.
Isn't Epstein white? Isn't Epstein white?
Yeah, he's on their side, isn't it?
Oh, okay. I was thinking, why do we, anyway, we is French. But yeah, it's actually crazy. But I think when you hear the nature of or when you read the nature of the things that he was doing, like even like threatening people and all that stuff, and even that clip of Cassie that we saw, that's because she was trying to escape a situation where he's trying to force her to have sex with somebody.
Oh, was it?
And he was
Yeah,
in his,
apparently.
you could tell he was in his robe as well. So he's jumped in the shower probably, and she's like, right, I can escape now.
Yes,
Hence
exactly.
why he ran down the corridor in his robe.
Yeah, it's mad. Stacey says the head of Sony Music Nashville and Warner Japan just resigned. Yeah, I don't know if... Because as well with his parties and stuff, like it's always like he's always boasted about it over the years of like is the top people in the industry, it's the top people in the world that attend those parties. So I don't know that they're gonna know that I don't know that they're gonna want their business out there like that. And also interesting enough, so there was a guy, I can't find the interview though, but I'm gonna try and see if I can find the full interview. So basically he claims he was a sex slave for Diddy and Cassie.
I've seen this
You ever
one.
seen the
It's,
interview? The guy like...
Yeah, he's in a prison and
Yeah.
he's getting interviewed. It's a long interview and I did
so-
watch it.
Yeah, I want to try and find the full thing, but he basically claimed that he's a sex... he was a sex slave for Diddy and Cassie. Basically just talked about like how it would work and wherever else, how there'd be drugs and blah, blah, blah. But then also he says that Diddy gave him herpes But then also in the court documents, one of the reasons why they were asking for bail is because he says he's got to get some medical treatment. But they said that medical condition is basically sealed and was sent to the judge privately, so the public wouldn't know what medical condition. So he is not just sick in the head, but sick. But all them sex parties they're doing and stuff like that.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Only, literally.
The law of averages and that.
Yeah. Because they look like.
But when you got
like
so
they care
much
about
money,
safety.
when you got so much money, were you talking about earlier? It's delusion.
Yeah.
You know, you literally believe, as he does today, that. Cause don't forget, you can pay people off.
Yeah.
But I
and
think
that's what he's been doing.
Well, as you've been talking, I've actually just realised that in the world recently, in the modern world, there's been more so-called dodgy deaths.
Yeah.
Such as in the royal family, you know, so-called Pippa's sister or whatever. What's her name? That's married to Edward. Kate's sister, and the guy that was associated with that, you know, he so-called shot himself in regards to some conspiracy.
Even that, yeah.
The Boeing situation, there was a couple of whistleblowers, they disappeared. And then it was only last week that ABC, which was deemed to be favourable towards Harris during that debate, like it was all pre-set up. Harris was meant to know the questions, and she was meant to have an earpiece in. Again, this is all alleged, but funnily enough, a couple of days ago, the person that had released the report had also died and committed suicide.
Wow.
So this is happening more and more. So
It's a real life scandal, and this is crazy because I'm currently rewatching Scandal, so this is just so wild. That's crazy.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. Like, I mean, there's a lot of dark in the world at the moment, and then they're getting away with it. It is crazy. So you better watch out.
But I think that with Diddy's stuff, like things just need to be called. Like he's a paedophile, he's a deviant. Like I feel like he just needs to be called exactly what it is. It's not a case of he's having freak offs. Like he was literally raping people, like and forcing that. Do you get me? It just needs to be. It needs to be called what it is because that's what he was doing. But it will be interesting to see how it all plays out. I don't see him going off because also as well they're saying that, and that's the thing. You know when they say that they're investigating something, I think is it since 2008 or 2018? I know he's got number 8 in there, but I always find it interesting because I'm like, whilst you're building your case, you watch this person go on and harm multiple other people. Like that's just.
I guess you got to make sure that you don't.
You got to build a case, but then it's just when you look at it. It's sick. It's sick, especially because I think the extent of the things that he was doing is sick.
Are you lot still banging his music?
No.
It's funny, the radio is though, or they're playing remixes because obviously he was the king of remixes. But you still hear the radio playing like R. Kelly, and the radio's nuts anyway. I was just in the gym the other day and they were playing Vibes, and he was talking about something to do with whole. Now, because the average person doesn't understand, but certain kids of certain cultures, they understand what they're talking about, and they're young. Yeah. And that's just on like Choice FM during the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy what's on radio.
But you're not still banging P. Diddy?
Yeah. I don't play. I do play Puffs.
He said he doesn't play Diddy, but he plays Puff.
Sorry, B.I.G. I'm a big fan of B.I.G. Yeah.
Okay,
You can't remove the production, man. You can't.
So you're not. You're still banging. You're still banging.
I can't not listen to Biggie. I can't listen to Biggie.
E-man.
Biggie or Diddy?
I listen to Diddy though.
Biggie.
Biggie. I always said Diddy.
No, but isn't it funny though with the Biggie situation? As we're talking about this, because I mentioned this to my friends, but he had some. I think lyrically he was one of the best. I think his articulation.
Yeah, that thing come out by the other rapper, right?
No, I'm talking about when he come out with very suspect lyrics.
Yeah. Girl, you're so fine, I suck on your...
Yeah, and your daddy's, you know what I mean? And then you hear this Diddy stuff, and it's like... And then don't forget, he wanted to leave the label. He was, so-called going to expose certain things. And there was other suspect things as well.
Like the alleged... trans woman in the video.
Well, she
was next.
Yeah, exactly.
But she was in another video as well, another big video.
And that was early doors, and no one was saying anything. And
that was Diddy that was controlling that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. What's it? Is it Hypnotized? No.
It is Hypnotized.
Yes, the one when Busta Rhymes is at the bar, and then Diddy not Diddy, sorry, Biggie.
That's Big Papa.
Sorry, Big Papa. Moves him off
the throne in the house.
Moves him out of the way so he can hold the girl.
Oh, no, he's about One More Chance.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One Way's in the throne.
Yeah,
when he's at the bar, that's Big Papa.
Yeah, that's not allegedly. That's
Oh,
trans.
serious?
Yeah.
So it's just getting the message out early, isn't it?
I'm not listening. I'm not banging anything.
No, because it's all about subconscious, isn't it?
No, I get it, but I'm not listening to nothing. No.
Because you know what it is? I think...
What, no biggie?
I mean, the thing is, if you listen to it, you're sending a message to the universe that you're supporting bid.
But it's not that. You're inadvertently still sending money to him.
Yeah.
So I'm not sending money
for
to
him
him.
to run his rings. Yeah, and I think also for me, like, it's just weird, man, because he just looks so like dark and evil. And I think when you think about, like, even like his rebranding, even when he did the whole Joker thing for
Oh, that was so neat.
for Halloween, so just as a Joker.
Oh yeah.
And Disney sent him assistance. It's like, don't do that. Like, don't. But when you think about, like, because there's something about committing crimes, yeah, and being unaware that it's a crime. Because sometimes some guys don't know that when you coerce a woman into having sex with you, that's actually sexual assault. Some people are unaware of that, right? Some people don't know that when you take the condom off, that's
Stealthing.
and that's actually
rape.
That's rape.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so it's like some people don't know these things, but there's something about someone who knows what he's doing, and then just plays in everyone's faces constantly. And I can't imagine what it's like for like the victims of his abuse to just be everywhere. People talk about, oh, he's so lovely. He's such a lovely guy. Like, I can't imagine that. Like, that's absolutely sick. Like, sick. So there's something just so twisted and sick about the way that he's tried over the years to rebrand himself and just appear as this lovely guy who's just for black people and wants blah 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 blah. And even like the guy from the prison cell thing, I was talking about this. He was a sex slave. He was talking about Diddy's part of like there's a black Illuminati. That's why I want to go down rabbit because I like Illuminati talk. I like this conspiracy of it all. But he's basically talking about like there's a black Illuminati and essentially the power that's there, and Diddy's part of that, and
LeBron,
and
James,
LeBron,
yeah. Because then, but he does some weird signals before every game. I mean,
oh, does he?
Yeah, where they say that he's calling darker
I
powers.
saw that.
You see that? I mean, what?
Yeah, but that's not. That's too far down the rabbit hole. He does
think
like
so?
the Baphomet thing, and he blows the chalk in the air, summoning the devil. Like it's too much.
I
man.
mean, it is conspiracy,
It's
but
too much.
it is. I mean, as I say, there's a lot of darkness out there, and people are either on the light or the dark side. And you got to wonder if his circle, obviously, what side they're on.
Anyway, it's crazy, man. Brent, thoughts?
I think we have exhausted this.
It'll be back
we got a
again,
lot.
innit? Yeah.
All right, let's get
Cool, thank you very much.
into our interview then. Actually, the first impression is in the mud. All right, we have a lovely guest with us today. I love guests that just come in and just jump straight into the
Yeah, I'm
conversation.
sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry.
good,
This is what I love. This is sorry, Brent. Can you put it back on Clive, please? Thank you very much. Sorry. Yeah. But can you please let people know who you are and what you do?
So I'm one of London's leading gold consultants.
Nice.
I represent a company called Solomon Global, which is a multi-award winning company based in London. And my sort of starting from really my ethos is I'm an ex-stockbroker several years in New York and London. And I made a living of selling, as much products as possible to earn as much money as possible with no ethics or caring for clients. Again, the dark world of banking. And then I got involved I've been in commodities nearly 30 years and realised us as a community, particularly the ethnic community, sort of the wealth that we have in comparison to our counterparts, we're at the bottom. So I've made a goal to spread the sort of knowledge of buying gold and to protect people's future wealth and also possibly make a hell of a lot of money. Because as the world's collapsing around us, whether it's currencies, riots, stock market crashes, cyber attacks, what attacks we had 2 days ago with every devices being blown up across the Middle East, we give a chance for people to come out the system and we provide them with independence and freedom through gold. Nice. And as I said, it's going through the roof as we speak at record highs. So, everybody's making a lot of money and we're about to possibly make much more.
Okay, nice. All right, we have a game that we play before we get into just more questions. We have a game that we play with all
Do I
of our
win
guests.
anything? The game.
Well, we'll let you know at the end of the year.
Oh, okay. It's not very exciting.
No, not at the moment. Not at the moment. We'll let you know at the end of the year. We've got our scoreboard. We've got
What is it, a car?
leaderboards.
What do I win?
So maybe gold.
Gold.
Maybe gold.
Get some gold back.
You treat yourself. Yeah, man.
Oh, thank you.
Ethically sourced gold.
Ethically sourced.
I appreciate that.
All right. So, well, I guess just me and you then.
Yeah,
It's gonna be quick fire questions. All right. So they're this or that questions. Like, what's your preference? A gold or silver kind of thing.
Yeah. Hit me.
And then also general knowledge.
Okay.
And if you don't know the answer, just say pass.
Oh my god!
Because the more
you're
you
gonna hit me
answer,
general knowledge. Oh. I hate it. I always freeze up on general knowledge. You know when you watch the one where they do it on the streets?
Oh yeah.
And they ask the most basic questions, and you know it, but you know if you're in front of that mic, it just anyway. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. There was a guy that was asked what's 2 times 2, and he was like, "Oh man, like you really put me on the spot." I said, "What?"
Was it the guy that looks at the camera?
Yeah.
Oh, he's funny.
That was
He's
2
so
times 2.
funny.
He goes, "Oh man, you really put me on the spot." But 2 times 2.
But to be honest,
Gosh.
there's actually 2 answers to that question.
No.
And again,
Excuse me?
this comes down to a rabbit hole like 1 times 1.
No.
Have you? Do you know about?
You've
this?
mait money on the principle that maths works.
Yeah,
Let's not do that.
Yeah,
Are you going to work after this? Do you want your key card to work?
Brent is gas.
I can't remember what the actor's called. The
Terrence
one
Howard.
Terrence
Yeah,
Howard.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. And to be fair, he's a very intelligent guy. He is obviously down the rabbit hole, but he makes some very good points in regards to basic mathematics like that. So anyway, moving on.
What's the other answer to 2 times 2 if it's not 4?
It can only be 4. It can only be 4. I must never stop being 4.
It's dangerous if you stop being 4.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Okay, well, all
You'll be
right.
surprised of his theories.
I was surprised when I did watch the interview. I was
Yeah.
like, huh, interesting. Yeah, interesting. All right, well, let's just get back in the car. Okay, so yeah, are you ready,
Yeah.
Brent?
I am ready.
Okay.
If you
Yes.
don't know the
Yeah.
answer, just say pass so you can
Alright,
go on to
cool.
the next one, yeah?
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Crypto or cash?
Oh,
Quick.
555 minus 500.
445
What's the chemical symbol for gold?
AU.
Harris or Trump?
Trump.
WC on the toilet door stands for what?
What is it? False.
Rudolph Walker starred as Patrick in what British sitcom?
Pass.
Under the mattress or in a bank?
Under a mattress, 100%.
TV license fee is used to fund what?
The government filling black holes.
What black comedian's surname is a synonym for the word before?
Ah, that's a smart one.
Say pass. Say pass.
You can pass it.
Pass.
Elon or Jeff?
Elon.
What's the main ingredient in fufu?
That's us. This is.
What is the capital of Brazil? Oh, Clive.
No.
The lights got to him. The lights got to him.
Pass.
The lights, the sounds. It's because you were questioning 2 times 2. That's what happened.
Yeah.
You should have done that. First of all, I said 555 minus 500.
Oh, you said 500. I thought you said 55 minus 500.
No, because you were like 400. I was like, what?
I thought I misheard it. I was like,
Yeah, that's
I
it.
thought I misheard it.
Thank you. I thought it was 55 minus 500, which is 445, right?
I mean,
Fair.
it'd be minus.
Yeah.
It would be to be
what I
fair. But you did you say the
And you do
minus?
talk quickly.
Oh, wow.
A little bit. I mean, you're amazing at your job.
Thank you very much.
I don't like that.
But did
You
you
don't
say,
like that?
wait, but did you say minus?
Referee coming
I
in.
thought it was minus.
But did
yeah.
you say minus 400 or something there? You just said 400
Anyway, I
something.
was right. 'Cause I thought you heard.
I told you, I keep telling you so.
There's such thing as a calculator.
Man,
now.
accountability. Ooh, it was hand in hand.
Do you know what's mad? It's like Esther was saying it fast to help you because you were taking so long
Yeah,
to
yeah,
answer.
alright,
She's like,
alright,
whoa,
I'm
you're
not trying
going.
to help. I'm never trying to help a guest again.
Thank God I got the gold on right.
Word,
Christ.
word.
Well, I guess it's safe to say you don't have to worry about what the present is.
Yeah.
All right. So, get into, how did you get started in the gold industry?
Before you start, why did you say Trump?
Good point, and I was hoping to explain that. So Harris has been known to lock up a lot of us blacks. So when she was, I believe, a judge in the US, she had like a record for the amount of blacks that she incarcerated for very, very minor crimes. Now, in London, this is why we got to be grateful for London. If the police stop us and you have a little spliff on you, whatever, half the time they'll let you go. Probably won't get a criminal record, you get a caution. In America, you know, certain states, you get locked up for 5-10 years and your life is just changed. So she had basically changed laws to make it favourable to lock up as much blacks as possible, because there has been proof that certain judges have shares within the holding companies of the prisons. Yeah. Trump had actually changed some laws for minor crimes in which people wouldn't get incarcerated. He's also backed a few black colleges, which not a lot of presidents have done. I'm not a massive fan of him. I think the way he talks about us is a bit, I think there's elements of a little bit racism or lack of education.
A little bit.
Yeah, lack
Not
of
a crime.
education.
But she was Kamala was a prosecutor.
Yeah, prosecutor.
I have a few TikToks to show you. You've obviously seen the wrong TikToks, but I'll show you the TikToks that disproves everything that you just said regarding Kamala.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with facts. It is actual data to back it up.
All right.
That's all right.
I'll be interested to see that.
Cool.
Yeah, and I think also the fact about her being, she don't really understand what colour she is. I mean, for several years she was Indian and all of a sudden she's black. I'm not a big fan of the way she communicates. I think there's a huge lack of intelligence, similar to Biden. I think they're incapable.
And you think Trump is intelligent?
I think he has certainly more intelligence than...
Wait.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's a lot of people don't know he has had a lot of failed businesses, but at the end of the day, what I'm a big fan of Trump of is it comes down to this point. I should have said this first of all. He doesn't confide. He doesn't follow the WEF. He's not a fan of who. These organizations are trying to run the world. The Starmer, who's the head of our party at the moment, he's already said, I wouldn't listen to the British people. I listen to Davos and WEF, okay, which is run by Charles Schwab. Sorry, what's his name? Klaus. And Trump has said, look, I'm not a big fan of that. And that's why they tried to blow his head off about 3 times. Because we know throughout history that if you stand up against the elites, you know, they will take you out. Now, this goes down to Kennedy. Kennedy wanted to get rid of the Federal Reserve. Yeah. He was a big fan of the blacks. You know, they were like, look, forget that. We'll get rid of you. The king, situation. Even if you look at it on another side of the waters, Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi. Gaddafi wanted to create a one currency against the elites, and create Africa as an independent and all the rest of it. He disappeared. Saddam wanted to get rid of the dollar and create a new currency. So if you stand against the elites, they will take you out. So, and he's one of the individuals, in my view, that's kind of saying F you to them, and I'll be doing what I want to do. And I have to respect that.
It's crazy that you're conflating Saddam, Gaddafi and all of them to Trump.
In regards to the assassination thing, as in if you don't comply, you may be taken out. And
but that has never been solidified. That's not the whole assassination attempt. We don't know what that means, but it's a conspiracy. So
what with the Trump situation?
Yes, yeah, nothing has been set out. Nothing's been set in stone.
What?
But
What do you
even
mean?
if you
What do you mean?
the motives behind it, you're saying it was
the
the elite that
motives.
done it. None of that's come
Okay.
out. But if
The thing is, the guy the so-called first one that was shot when he was doing the presentation, that kid was on a BlackRock advert. Now, what's that all about? The connection there is unbelievable. BlackRock and Vanguard, they are known to become largest organizations in the world. They own now 80% of the stock market. And there was some form of a connection. Some say, this hasn't been proven, that there was a short position put onto the market, as in if Trump were to die, the shares in his social platform would drop. And this position was worth millions of pounds. It was a leveraged position. And when he'd survived that, someone pulled that trade. And that trade, they say, could be associated to BlackRock.
right, so that's again, it's all maybe theories, conspiracies, right? But what he did say is to drink bleach if you got COVID. What he did do is perpetuate racism. I'm talking about stuff he's actually
Did
done.
you try the bleach? You didn't
Me,
try
I
that?
didn't. Yeah, of course I did. Yeah, I tried it.
They could try.
He actually didn't say that in so many words, and
Obviously,
I
I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah,
But same way, but it's funny that you're choosing to paraphrase one thing, but then you're going hard on theories and conspiracies.
Yeah, because I believe, based on the evidence that I've seen, that a lot of, I believe some of that is true.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But obviously, each to their own.
Yeah,
but,
it is
but
each to their own.
Trump is easily one of the dumbest.
But remember,
dumbest,
you gave me a
idiotic
choice
president.
between two people.
100%.
Yeah, you just gave me a choice between two people.
Yeah, no,
So-
of course, I get it. But
so
it's just,
I'll-
interesting getting your
Yeah,
the reasoning.
and the reason being is he doesn't confide to that WEF nonsense, and it's crazy what they're pushing.
But
Whether it's vaccines, lockdown, 15-minute cities, it's crazy.
And obviously, the beautiful thing about this is that we have a room full of different
Views.
This is what this is all for. And with politics, what I tend to see, and I see it from Emmanuel too, right? Not just politics, but commentators like what's her name? She's getting cooked now.
Lin May?
No,
Kate Hopkins.
no, American.
Candice?
Candice Owens, right? You a fan of Candice Owens?
She's been saying some weird comments. To be honest, I'm not. I haven't watched enough of her stuff to make a valid opinion.
Fair. What is beautiful is that if the candidate is fiercely against something that we are also fiercely against, and we know that they are going to basically put this through if they get nominated, regardless of anything else that you don't agree with, you're going to vote for them. And I'm hearing you spout a lot of Trump sayings, right?
Yeah.
All the conspiracies that would edge me,
Yeah.
you're fully leaning to say, nah, Trump didn't mean this, and this is what he really meant. And if it is that you look into this properly, you understand it's the better thing for this, that, and next. I love that you're sitting here, and I'm not the one basically seeing stuff like the WHO stuff.
Yeah.
Because I would agree with that WHO stuff.
Yeah.
That is legit.
Yeah.
However, I would still never vote for Trump.
Yeah.
And-
No, I'm not saying I'd vote for him. Remember, it was a choice. But to be honest, politics for me is all BS, right? I came to realize long time ago that they're on the same arse, they're just different bum cheeks. Yeah. Whether it's Conservative, Labour, Democrats, Republicans. We just had Rishi that's come out, and this guy's coming from another party, and he's doing the exact same stuff and worse. And don't forget, Rishi's stepdad had worked for the WEF, hence why he passed on. There was a lot of back contracts and stuff, and this guy's coming doing the exact same stuff. So I'm not highly educated in politics. I try not to get involved because I think it's all BS. But gold is obviously my thing.
Yeah. Can I ask who you voted for?
I don't vote. I haven't voted before.
Okay.
Because I said I'm not into it. Not a big fan.
Fair. Cool. All right.
right.
Sorry, Esther.
To be fair,
Sorry?
we can link that somewhat back to obviously the gold thing. When you mentioned the whole under the mattress to the bank,
That's
why
a really
is
good
that?
question. So the banks are, a lot of British banks, some say are insolvent.
Okay.
If you look at, say, Barclays going back a couple of years ago, I believe it had an insolvency rate of like 7%, which puts a lot of high street banks in a very dangerous position in case of a crisis. A lot of British banks are heavily leveraged through derivatives. If I were to describe that, it's called gearing, or meaning that if I were to put £5 down and I was geared up 10 times, then I'd be doing a £50 trade, which leaves me hugely exposed. And it's all kind of a fake market, if you like. So banks are in major trouble. So the Bank of England had come out weeks ago and they said, look, there's major shortcomings with like NatWest, Santander, HSBC, Lloyds. I mean, you name it, they're on the list. And they said there's major shortcomings. And what they've said is they may look to wind up the bank safely. Now, what the hell does that mean? Now, what we do know, going back since 2009, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, for a staff discussion, said we're not going to bail out the banks again. It's going to be a bail-in. And a lot of people don't understand what that means. And what it means is if the bank were to collapse, the instrument holder shall bear the losses. Now, that sounds like Latin, but it's written in most brochures. The problem is the average person, when they get the latest terms and conditions from Barclays and it's a half an inch thick, you just go and put it up on your shelf. So our compliance team at Solomon Global, have passed on this information to the public because there's a lot of British press have been told not to publish it because if they did, we'd have a major bank run. And a lot of people need to realise, because us as humans, we have very short memories of remember, the Northern Rock situation. Back in the last crash, we had people queuing outside the banks for days on end, and they lost all their money. And I must say, we strongly believe that's going to happen any minute now.
And is that what a bank run means?
A bank run is when people at mass get their money out of the banks, which would force them to collapse even quicker. I mean, we've all tried to go into banks recently and try to take out X amount. It's a nightmare. What do you need it for? What colour are your socks? What's your mum's maiden name? Jump through this hoop naked while we laugh at you. And half the time it's someone that's half your age. And particularly if you're of colour, it's even worse. And the reason they're doing that is they need to hold our money as much as possible because, it keeps them solvent. And they've been doing somewhat close to criminal activities. They've been changing laws where when you put £1 in the bank now, they can lend all of it out. They changed that during COVID. I mean, if you imagine a bank that's usually by your piggy bank, the whole ethos of it is you put your money in and it stays in there. Whereas they're lending it out, highly leveraging it, and they're now on the brink of collapsing due to greed, some say. That's a warning that's been put out by the Bank of England, and people need to wake up and take that seriously because don't forget Metro last year nearly went bust. That means the depositors would have lost all their money. It was only because some Brazilian billionaire came in and bailed them out, but there's not a Brazilian billionaire on every corner in this case. Also, the FSCS, which is the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, which is a fairly small department, which typically deals with complaints for if you've got beef with your IFA or a stockbroker's missold you something, you would go to them. And they will typically take some time to deal with your case, maybe 6 months, 12 months, a couple of years. Now, they deal with, 10, 20, 50, 100 cases a month. I don't know the exact number, but it's not a lot. But let's build a scenario. Let's say one bank goes down, right? Let's say Santander, 50 million customers or whatever. And 50 million customers are going to call this line and get their money overnight? I mean, they're only dealing with hundreds, if not thousands of cases. So people need to wake up and realize, when the poo hits the fan, it's going to be the biggest financial crash in world history. Hence why we say get your money out of the banks, buy gold. We're up 30% already this year, and your average bank pays you 3% anyway. And all you're doing is you're filling some fat cat's pockets, and they're taxing you, they're earning off your money. And the madness is these banks, which are run by central banks, they're buying gold. We've got banks buying more gold than ever before in history, but they won't tell you that. They'll tell you to buy a bloody ISA. Even Martin Lewis says they're crap. Pensions are collapsing, premium bonds are not paying out. People are losing money left, right, and centre. Whereas you get involved in gold, there's a fortune to be made.
I want to ask you something about what you said about the FCCS. I think they what do you call it? They protect everyone, apparently, for 85k, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So in a situation where the department, like you said, it's a small department, and there was a situation where Santander was to collapse, are you basically saying they just couldn't do it, or it will take X amount of time? Are they bound by law?
No, it's both, brother. That's the scariest part. So one, they probably wouldn't. Well, look, we've all worked with the government before. We know when certain things hit the fan, or government sets up certain things, certain schemes, or certain line, it doesn't go smoothly. We've had stuff where it's been outsourced to Capita in the past, certain things. And let's be honest, the systems don't work. Even our NHS system, I don't know if you've booked an appointment recently, but the system's down. It's always down. It doesn't work. I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here. Sorry.
Yeah, I was basically saying, do they have the capacity to
so
do
I
it?
said two things, okay? So one, it's that they won't have, at the moment, the manpower. Because imagine 5 million people, 60 million people calling up, trying to get their money. I mean, in the UK, it's probably only 10 million customers that they have, but 10 million people, a million people is a lot of people. So people just got to understand, you're not going to get your money that day. And everyone's going to want their money when the bank closes. I want my money now. And the bank's going to put their arms up and say, no, we told you, the Bank of England warned you, we ain't got your money. You're going to have to wait, or the government will convert you to CDBC. And anyway, let's not get sidetracked. So one, I don't think they have the capacity to do that. Two, I don't think the money is there.
Okay.
So they kind of indicated. So if you go to the Bank of England website, the FSCS, this is the weirdest thing, brother. It's got FAQs there, yeah? And it states there, in the case of a multiple bank collapse, do we have the money to pay out the 85,000? It's got a question mark. And guess what it has underneath it? Their accounts. And some say, if you look at their accounts, there's not a lot in there. There's only enough in there for a few thousand people. And I don't think it's going to be us. So what could happen is they'll pay you out, instead of 85 grand, it'll be 0.0001 of the penny. Or they'll say, do you know what? Guys, the bank's collapse is taking your money. Bank's really horrible. Sorry about that. But I tell you what, we've got the Bitcoin, which is a digital currency. It's going to make your life so much easier. And because you were so stressed because the bank nicked your money, we'll give you an extra 5 grand on top of credits. Because we understand electric's gone up and gas has gone up. We're trying to help you. And then you're so stuck. You're like, F it, I'll take it up. Like they tried to launch in Jamaica, and Nigeria were the first countries to launch digital money. So that's the first scenario. They suck you into the system. The other scenario would be like what we saw in Cyprus, is the bank would collapse and then the bank would say, here's shares in the bank or here's bonds. Now, if a bank were to collapse, obviously the shares and bonds would be worthless. And that's what happened in Cyprus. And even in Cyprus, they took the banks to court after and they said, no, the banks have got your money, you're not getting it back. So we're about to see the biggest financial crash where we strongly believe there may be a multiple banking, scenario.
And you really think realistically, right, this could happen in the UK?
Oh, well, don't forget, as I said, Metro nearly went bust last week. I mean, look, last year, look at NatWest. I mean, NatWest has put out numerous statements recently. You can only withdraw 2 grand a day. You can only put £1,000 in a day. A lot of their branches, you'll see an A4 piece of paper that states, you're unable to withdraw cash today. I mean, there's a lot of signals out there. Look, guys, why do you think they've shut down a lot of the high street banks? Yeah, because when the poo hits the fan, you've got no windows to smash and no bank managers to throttle. Yeah? It's all a plan. Just people need to realise and wake up what's coming. Yeah.
Clive, could I ask? In the investment of gold, right now you said it's up by 30%, right?
Well, if I could just stop you there before you finish your question, sorry, but gold isn't an investment, and this is where a lot of people, misunderstand it. An investment typically has inherent risk. Gold is deemed as zero risk because it's never gone to zero. Now, yes, it's volatile.
Yeah, that's what I was about.
But it's actually not deemed as an investment.
What's it deemed as?
As a life insurance policy.
It's a sure bet.
It's a sure bet.
As a life insurance policy, as a store of value, a true store of value. And it's the ultimate protection for your future wealth.
Okay. So you categorize that as you said it's not an investment because it's never gone down to zero.
Yeah, it's more of a hedge, an insurance policy, as I say, a way to protect your wealth, because all it's done is it's maintained its value throughout history. Whereas if you hold the pounds, lost 50% over the last 20 years. 50%. I mean, that's a big drop. In the last 20 years, gold's gone up thousands of percent.
Because I was just about to ask, say we don't, let's remove the investment word then.
Yeah.
Say we go into gold and, like you said, it's gone up by 30%. Is that due to the economy dropping?
Well, the economy really hasn't dropped, although we stated we're in a recession. Because our FTSE is still quite strong. The Dow Jones is strong. International markets are strong due to fake money and, false prophecies and over-inflation. It's all kind of fake. It's all being held up with cooked spaghetti. So I think we're going to see the markets pull back. The main reason why it's gone up is because gold is priced in dollars and the dollar is collapsing. So as the dollar collapses, gold goes up. Gold goes up as well with inflation. It's its number one dinner, if you like. It eats it. It loves eating inflation. It's always proven to us as inflation goes up, gold goes up as well. And we just had interest rates drop in the Fed yesterday by 50 basis points. That's the first Fed cut in 4 years, and usually when that happens, gold rises as well, because when the UK and the Western world drop interest rates, your money that's in your bank, you're not going to be getting that type of return anymore. So then people start getting that out and getting into gold. I think in the next 12 to 24 months we'll probably run out of gold. You won't be able to buy it. That's why I do shows like this, to just try and get people as much gold as possible.
Sorry Brent, just last question. Does gold thrive more on a quote unquote weaker economy, higher inflation than a stronger economy?
Yes, but it has been known to go up with a strong economy as well, because as people prosper, they want to protect that wealth and they will buy gold. But when you have a crisis situation, like we've got, 2-3 wars going on at the moment, the worst in history, on the brink of World War III, gold becomes the crisis commodity because, a lot of people say to me, Clive, if we're on the brink of World War III, what's the point buying gold? I'm going to get nuked tomorrow and all this stuff. How is it valuable? Well, if you look at a region like Gaza, which is just rubble now, and you want to go and buy some food or fuel or whatever for your family, well, you can't go to the ATM and get cash out. You can't go to the bank and get cash out. What do the locals do? Well, they're using gold coins, as a means of exchanging, and that's what we've had throughout thousands of years. Gold is always accepted. So yes and no.
Someone did ask, do you invest in water outside of gold?
No, but water is one of the most important commodities in the world. I'm a big fan of that. Plus, obviously, food, particularly as food now that we consume is very dangerous. So food and water, and the water we drink is dangerous. It's full of fluoride and chemicals and drugs in this country. I think gold's just as important as water. The thing is, how do you invest in water? Or I say the word invest. How do you buy water and make money from it? I mean, but what you should invest is a good filtration system, which I would recommend buying Berkeley. So if there was a war, because don't forget, guys, we are on the brink of war. The government has released a preppers website. They've said like a month ago, make sure you buy perishables, cans, water. They're prepping us that, something's going to happen. So we probably will run out of water from the shelves. So make sure you get a good filtration system just so you can survive if the madness does come.
Realistically, though, if everyone wanted to just not use banks and wanted to go the gold way, is there enough gold for that?
No. So the problem is that the markets now are worth hundreds, maybe, I don't know, 10 trillion, 50 trillion. I don't even know how to quantify it because we've printed so much money, right? Gold is only worth a few trillion. They only say there's 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of gold in the whole world. Now, all it takes is for 1% of that money, when the stock market collapses, when property starts collapsing, and I believe property may collapse. I believe it's going to halve, and you can hold me to that over the years because it's so overinflated like the markets. But once that money goes into gold, you can imagine like a Pac-Man situation, eating a little dot and the little dot's gold. It's just going to swallow it up. I mean, we've gone from using 20 dealers to buy gold to now using 2. The Royal Mint is running out of gold. They're even begging people to just hand in laptops and mobile phones just to extract the gold. They're getting truckloads turning up, every other week at the Royal Mint because they're so desperate for gold. And central banks around the world have bought more gold than ever before just in the last few years. So clearly they know something we don't, or I do, shall we say.
So obviously the banks are buying, like you said, buying the gold, they're storing the gold.
Yeah.
What do you say to the average person who's listening who says, okay, cool, Clive, I'm going to buy some gold. Where's that gold going to be kept?
Well, we deliver it to them. So
Okay.
at Solomon Global, we're a big ethos of having your own bank in the palm of your hand.
Okay.
I mean, how magic is that? Anytime you want to sell it, you want to build on it, it's there, it's in your hands. You don't have to answer anybody. You have no counterparty risk. There's no monthly fees, there's no subscription fees, there's no profit share. You are the owner of that gold in your hands, which is a very magic feeling. So that's what we're a big ethos. But we do offer storage facilities through Market Amet, where the Queen actually holds her stuff as well. Really good security based in Heathrow.
I was going to say really good stuff the Queen has.
Yeah, that's a bit of a big up just to make people feel comfortable. For me, it don't mean much. But
I think keeping your gold under your bed sounds a bit wild. Maybe it could happen.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of clients we take on.
I probably would.
A lot of clients are like, "Are you going to send it to me in the post?" They're like really shocked. And to be fair, when I got involved in the gold market, I was quite shocked that we do send it in the post.
It's like a coin.
No, look at the
coins
sites.
or bars. Yeah. But I've delivered since inception. We've delivered £52 million worth of gold successfully.
And the prices are quite. I was checking it. It depends on how much gold you want and the clarity. I hope I was on the right website.
Yeah,
I saw one that was like 9 bags, and another one was like. You had different like queen beasts and stuff. I was looking
That's
at
correct. Yeah, so that's Solomon Global is our website. As I said, we're a multi-award winning firm. We bank a couple of million a month. So way we do is we team up with the Royal Mint. We spend quite a lot with them. We get like trade discounts, and then we just pass that on to the public, make a small margin ourselves, and it's allowed us to have, this 5-star service.
Question. One, I do believe that buying gold is an investment, right? Two, when we give you money, right, we're giving you the thing that you're saying is getting lower and lower in value, right?
Sorry, so
When we give you money to buy the gold,
yes,
right, we're giving you a lot of money,
Yeah.
but this money, you're saying it's depreciating.
That's
right?
correct.
What do you do with the money that you're selling the greatest commodity to us for? What do you do with it?
well, we use that to
Why
buy
do you
your
value
gold.
it?
We use your money to purchase the gold.
All right. So you as a company,
Mm-hmm.
how are you benefiting from the exchange?
So we make a small margin, as I said.
In what money?
Yeah, so we would
In
spend,
the
all right, if
depreciating
you,
money,
look,
right?
we'll spend a couple of million with the roll mint
Yeah.
on a monthly basis. We'll get massive trade discounts. We'll pass those discounts to the public and we'll make a small margin ourselves.
Yeah.
So, for example,
What do you do with the money that you make though?
with me personally,
Probably gold.
well,
Don't.
All right, go on.
for the company, we have a huge budget because we obviously advertise on Bloomberg and
Yeah.
TV and all that sort of stuff. So for us, it's about reinvesting into it, growing, getting, because at the moment we've got more business than we can handle.
Yeah.
Which is a good problem to have.
Always.
So it's about growing our business.
Yeah.
But all of us, within the team, we all buy, we're advocates of what we do. We all buy gold and silver.
Yeah.
Because we love it. I mean, I generally love it. I don't know if you can pick it up in my voice. I feel like it runs through my blood. Because
I believe you. Yes.
Ever since I've built this community, and as I said, we've successfully delivered quite a lot. Everyone's making money.
Yeah.
All gold has done is shot up.
Yeah.
And it's just been a blessing for a lot of people.
Yeah. Do you understand the question I'm asking now?
What? As in with what I do with the money?
Yeah. Because if you're saying that the most valuable thing is what we're giving you, if you give us the depreciating thing,
Well, we don't give
Why
you the
you-
depreciating thing. Because gold doesn't.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You give us the most valuable
Yeah,
thing in the
that's
exchange,
correct, yeah.
which is the gold.
And then
we're
we-
giving you the depreciating thing, which
Yeah.
is the
But a large portion of that depreciating thing is to purchase your gold because we make such a small margin. And then with that margin, as I said, that's then reinvested into the company to grow.
All right. I should ask a different question. All of your holdings, is it in gold?
Yeah, 90%.
So you just have walk around money for what?
What
For
do you
just
mean?
food and whatnot.
Well, look, the way that I see it, and we sort of say this to a lot of our clients, a lot of our top clients, we only have including myself, a few thousand in bank accounts because that's all you need to cover your direct debits.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a lot tied up in the bank right now in case, as we just discussed.
The bank running out.
So I just buy stuff that, for me, I'm not a gambler, and I've already come from a stockbroking world.
You definitely are. When it is that we said we play a game, you said, what can I win?
Yeah, I was only being funny. I don't know, particularly because you remember I've come from a gambling background where half my clients made a lot of money, half lost a lot of money. Now it's just everybody wins. So it's with gold, it's like betting on a horse race, but there's only one horse racing, and she's won her last 5 races. And it's sunny and hard ground. It's that easy to read.
All right. So you wake up the next morning and you find out that, seeing as there's only 2 swimming pools, of gold in the world, right? And you have a little bit. Obviously, people know that you are a gold peddler, right?
Yeah.
So they come straight to you, right?
Yeah.
And they remove you of your gold from under your mattress.
Yeah.
Right? What do you then do?
Well,
How do you then trade?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't suggest, we all laughed about that, putting it under your mattress. Obviously, there is ways that...
I'm not laughing.
Yeah, there's different there's different types of securities that you can put into place, and I will discuss that with a client on a one-to-one and not on radio. And it's up to you whether you want to declare it for insurance or you don't. I mean, don't forget, gold is extremely dense. I mean, if you wanted to hold, I actually have some I could show you in my car, which I've just baited up. Please don't go out, don't break into my car.
It's a nice car, by the way. It's a very nice car.
Oh yeah, I was going to drive my other baby in, but yeah.
What's the other
right
baby?
then.
What's the other baby?
Oh, I just got an R8 the other day.
All right,
a V10. Yeah, I'm in love with her. I'm a car nut, by the way.
All right.
But I decided
Amongst other things.
yeah, I've got to meet a client actually and leave, unfortunately, in like 5 minutes up in somewhere in North.
Yeah.
So I thought
Man,
Tell them what you're
this-
gonna
sensible.
this gold's got to sell, man.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
gold's
they're
got
going to
sold.
be looking out for me. They don't know what car. Yeah,
Cool. All right. Next question, right?
I put a hoodie on anyway when I've drunk.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, I can't imagine you know it.
It's a
Bro,
magazine.
I got. Do you know what? You
know.
you want the truth? You want the truth?
Actually, you can.
I that's what I wrote. Most time, when I go home, like my son, I just take my clothes off straight away. I don't like dressing too much in shirt and that. Maybe,
Really?
and I don't know, it's because probably from the hood or whatever. I was brought up in the council estate, South East London. I'm used to wearing like relaxed clothing, so I typically don't like to wear a shirt. But because I do the most business for the company, you'll see half days I come in and I'm just, dressing how I want to dress. But I think it's important though to feel powerful and to dress like that. I think it's one of the
It's for your
morals of a
clients,
man.
for sure. It's for your
Yeah,
clients.
particularly where I'm meeting a client today, it's imperative that he knows that I'm serious.
Fair,
Because if you're selling me gold and you're in a hoodie, I'm gonna think you put it out the back of a truck.
Let me I'll tell you that. When I was a stockbroker, I had a gold tooth hair and I used to rock a big gold chops. And I used to meet clients, because I deal with all clients, black, white, I'm mixed race myself. I love everybody. But I used to meet certain Caucasian clients, and I used to deal them. They used to give me like 5-10 grand. And I even said to myself, how are you trusting this guy with a gold tooth and the big chops? But obviously I'm a trustworthy guy.
Love that.
All right, so I guess because I watch a lot of like sci-fi and Armageddon and stuff, right? Post-apocalyptic type films and whatnot. There can be a day where gold doesn't hold the value that it holds right now, surely.
Do you know what, brother? All gold has done, and this is the biggest secret, it's just gone up throughout history, continuously. Yes, it's had periods of time over years where it's been flat or we've had a bit of a pullback, but let me build you a picture. So in the 1970s, gold was 35 quid, right? Fast forward into time, say the year 2000, which was 30 years later, gold was 250 quid. So it went from double digits, 35 quid, 250 quid, three figures. Go forward 2024, 24 years. What is it? 4 figures. It's a bit easy to read, isn't it? Where we're going here. Yeah.
Which is inflation, right? So it
Which
goes
is
up.
due to inflation and
Exactly.
currencies collapsing.
Yes.
And also, don't forget, it's finite. There's only so much on
It's
earth.
a precious metal.
Yeah, so it's going to jump to 10K very, very soon, but more sooner before, because what it is, it's broken through a 25-year cycle. Like literally, I've been waiting 10 years for this day to happen, because it's broken off and the wheels have hit the tarmac, and she's going to go ballistic now, absolutely ballistic. In price, but the problem is we've only got a small window to buy as much gold as possible because it's finite. I think another important thing to teach you guys. I mean, can anyone tell me out of you guys where gold comes from? We're doing a question time now, and I'll actually give away prizes because I'm not tight.
Wasn't the earth, the ore?
Huh?
The ore in the earth?
ore, yeah. Okay, so it comes from the earth. How did it get to the earth?
From the Big Bang.
The Big Bang? Oh, okay, so what? What do you mean Big Bang?
So it's just in terms of, it was always there.
What's the pressure now? I'm getting my own back.
Are you basically saying like there can never be more gold than there is, basically?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you diverted that one. I like that one at the end. That's good, Rob. You're an expert at this.
So
in a nutshell,
let me jump in.
gold is from our solar system.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to jump in. With gold, then it sounds like to me, obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like gold only thrives when everything's collapsing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it reverts back to a stone age in which you have a precious metal to trade in case anything fucks up.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's as simple as this: as the world gets darker, gold shines brighter.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, if
Put
you
that on a
compare,
t-shirt.
if you compare that to crypto, right? I'm going
Maybe
to
I
tell
should
you
write it
now.
down.
If you compare that to crypto, which is very risky, we don't know who started it. It's very, very new venture. And if you're willing to lose your money, then, and you can go back to that crypto question you asked me and I'll explain.
I guess you're talking about Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, Bitcoin or any of the coins. The fact is, it's energy hungry. Now, we're in an energy crisis. If the lights go off,
Peak.
you're done. I've got clients that are multimillionaires in Bitcoin. And like I had one in Texas, and years ago they had a blackout, right? Which was really weird for a very rich state like that. And they were covered in like 10 foot of snow. And he said, Clive, I can't do the Texan accent, so don't beat me up. He's like, Clive, I'm a millionaire and got in Bitcoin, man. But when the lights go off, man, I'm worth zero. He said, but this gold coin you sold me, I can trek through the snow for 10 minutes, knock on John's door. John will give me food and fuel for my family for a month. And that's
I think Jan believes in
But
gold.
this is what I'm saying. At that point, there comes a point in time where is that the future looks not like I could now rebuild it. That gold does not have the same weight anymore. It's, no, give me a shovel instead, because I need this more than this gold, because gold can do nothing for me.
No, as I said, it's a form of exchange. Yes, of course, a shovel and a fishing rod is all very, very helpful. I understand the theory, but we still need an asset which has value that people can exchange. which is important. And then going back to where gold is from, it's from our solar system. You know, it comes from meteorites which have landed on Earth, and very few meteorites hit Earth now. So there's just not a lot of gold. And I'm saying that we will run out soon. I mean, even in 08, in the GFC, the Great Financial Crisis, we ran out of gold. All we had was like bars left, 1 kilo bars. They were like 30 grand back then. They're like 70 grand now, actually. And I'm telling people that's going to happen again. So just get as much as you can.
Let's try and make this a bit more practical, yeah? Because a lot of us probably don't believe we'll get to a situation where the only thing we can trade will be these gold coins that we buy from you, yeah? So in a practical way, let's just say I buy a gold bar right now. How can I realize the profits of this? How can I basically make my family better off in the next 20 years?
Well, you buy it for X price, you hold it, and we're looking for it to go up in value, and then you'll sell it for X price in the future.
Okay, cool. So
and look, you might ask the question, but what do I sell it into? Into cash, Clive? Where you're going to get to? Don't worry, I'm a mind reader. Or what do I get into? Now, I don't know. Okay. I've got a crystal ball, brother, but it's a bit cloudy. Yeah, so I can't predict anything. And anyone that's watched my work over the years, you realise most of my predictions I get right.
Okay.
And I can't tell you what I can tell you is this, and what my plan is. There is one of the biggest secrets of wealth which Jewish conglomerates live by, and I'm trying to teach particularly ethnic communities about this. It's called the wealth cycle. You can link it. It's written by Mike Maloney, and it's a YouTube video, and it was so powerful YouTube tried to ban it and put it back on. And if you can imagine the number 8, and if we put it on its side, what does it look like?
Infinity.
Infinity, exactly. And if we were to look at the infinity, then would be 2 circles somewhat put together, yeah? And at the bottom of one circle, we have gold, which is cheap. And at the top, let's say property, some of the 2 major asset classes in the world. Now, what you'll find is that as gold rises, guess what happens to property?
Goes down.
Exactly. And you can build that picture in your head, and that's called the wealth cycle.
Okay.
And that's why we're getting a transfer of wealth from property overinflated into gold. So my point is, once the property market collapses, which always happens during wars and recessions, and don't forget, Andrew Bailey, the head of Bank of England, said it's going to be the worst recession in 300 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's, again, the press don't big that up too much. But what you can do with your gold, and I believe that people can make 10, 20 times your money in gold. Yeah, and I'll say that on air. The reason being is because in 08, she tripled in the last recession, and the world lost 70 billion. Guess how much we've lost today?
How much?
So it's more than 70 billion. Give me a number, someone, how bad it is today.
150?
300, good one. What?
150?
150, 900 billion. Right? Now, you don't need to, exactly. Now, you don't need to be a genius to work out. If gold tripled in 08, went up threefold nearly, and the world lost 70 billion, the GFC, the great financial crash, the biggest the world has ever seen, and that was 75 billion. We're down 900 billion.
Yeah.
You see why I say we might be in trouble with British banks?
Before you go, Clive, the people want to know where they can purchase the gold.
Yeah, so if you I've got an assistant called West. So if you just call up our office, it's on 0800 368 9145, or my mobile number, which is 07930 615 367, and I'll say that again.
So your assistant's name is West?
Yeah.
It's a hard name.
Yeah, it's South African as well.
No, just West.
Yeah. So just give him a call in the office. You must quote, though, the day after. Okay. So I think we've done TDA. If you quote TDA 24, we will be getting discounts as well to all of the listeners. The first 3 that actually call up from TDA, we're going to be giving away free silver. Okay, so whoever makes a purchase and calls up the first 3, we'll be giving away some free.
Can you repeat the number again? He wants to basically take it down. Can you repeat the
Yeah,
number
so
again?
that's
Ed said that the whole time. I just wanted to make a call.
I need to send this to my missus.
Yeah, so that's 0800 368
Mute the mic.
9145. Or my mobile number, which you can put up on screen, 079 30 615 367. And yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, that's an old number. And yes, I've had it since I was 18. As you remember, the old was it 1-to-1 numbers. So I never had to run from anybody.
That's good actually. My mum's got the same. Mum's had a number since she got here when she was 15.
Yeah, so it was after 07956 when you had 3 calls. This shows that I'm really old. But anyway, if not, anyone didn't get the number, just Google Solomon Global.
Send it to me so I could put all the information on the video and whatnot.
I'll send you the information and you put. Are we not live today?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, okay. Big up.
People listen back.
Good. Yeah. So just reach out to me. I'm happy to help. As I say, we're doing all right for our clients. We're up a lot, and we're about to make much, much more. And hindsight's a horrible thing. Do not get left behind.
Yeah, don't lose out.
One quick question before you go here. How does gold, I guess, compare to like index funds, ETFs, and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so with the ETFs, they're exchange traded funds, so they're on a live exchange, so they have maybe a bit more volatility, although they do track the gold price. The problem with the ETF to this day, they haven't been proven to own all the gold.
Ah, okay.
Just like the banks can't prove they've got everyone's money. Because if everyone wanted their money at the banks, they ain't got it. We know that for a fact. So with the ETFs, we don't know if it's proven. Plus, you don't own the gold physically. If the stock exchange goes down, which is very, very likely, it went down the other day, or the systems go down, or your computer goes down, or you got no, you're done for. Get the gold in your hands physically. That's the secret of wealth.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Clive.
Oh, you're absolutely
Appreciate
welcome.
it, man.
Thank you so much for having me. You got a great setup, by the way, here. And sorry for jumping in early doors.
No,
talking
that's
about
it.
colliding
No, but
cheeks.
that's what we like. That's what we
I
like.
didn't mean to jump in with the colliding.
No, we always hope that guests jump in early.
Colliding cheeks.
He's a man of many topics.
Exactly.
Selling
Look,
gold
I love my
colliding
hip hop,
cheeks.
innit? I love my hip hop, and as I said, I'm a fan of Biggie. He's like my favorite rapper.
Okay.
So I've been following this. I was watching. I'm ashamed to say because you mustn't follow this stuff. Honestly, like I know we do to inform the people, but do not get distracted by this stuff because it's about someone else's life. When you start looking and talking about other people's lives, it creates negativity in yours, reprograms your brain. But we want to know because we've grown up knowing that guy. But let's not spend too much time on it with the people. There's more important subject. Not saying you should cover it, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I get you.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I get you.
So very, very quickly, you have to leave a question for the next guest.
Yeah.
But the last guest left you a question and says, how do you tie together the different Child, wait a minute. How do you tie together the different fabrics of your existence to give you a strong sense of identity?
Boy, I would just say from my backgrounds, not coming from a wealthy family and those experiences and, doing road stuff or whatever when you're a kid, it makes you stronger, it makes you more aware. And I think also coming from the dark side, from the stockbreaking side, it's put me in a position today of knowledge and power and experience. And
Nice. And then what's your question for the next guest?
Are you going to buy gold?
How much gold you got? How much money's in your bank account? That'll kill them.
Do you still have a bank account?
How did they get involved in the industry?
Okay.
In their industry.
In the industry. Nice. Thank you so much, Clive.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I look forward to all the calls and helping listeners. Again, thanks for having me. It's been
thank
great.
you for coming on.
And I look forward to coming back again and
Yes,
spending a bit
definitely.
more
Most
time. If
definitely.
you guys will have me again.
Yeah,
Of course we will.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, babes.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into more headlines.
Yeah, of course.
We get sued.
All right, people. Trigger warning on this one. An independent investigation has found that a man who died 3 weeks ago. Sorry, pardon me. An independent investigation has found that a man who died 3 weeks after receiving the AstraZeneca COVID-19 jab was given the vaccine despite not being eligible. A probe into...
If you look at me again, if you look at me, don't look at me like I owe you anything.
Esther was signaling something to me.
Danielle
right.
said that she has gold.
All right, then.
Nice.
A probe into failings linked to the death of Jack Last, who's a young man who died in April 2021 from a blood clot linked to the Oxford AstraZeneca jab, revealed that the 27-year-old was wrongly called up early for the vaccine by his GP, and so did not receive a jab deemed safer for under 30s. The report found his death was a consequence of a combination of system shortcomings, human error, and tragic, unfortunate timing. His family has accused the NHS of a litany of errors that cost a fit and healthy young man his life. They said that sharing the horrific ordeal that Jack was put through that Jack was put through is something that must be done to highlight the litany of errors that have cost Jack his life. Jack died following days of agony with immense internal damage throughout his body, bleeding and clots in his brain. And the next headline.
First of all, I didn't know that there was different jabs for different age groups.
No, did I?
That's news to me.
No,
I thought it was 1 I thought they were just going for the old people to see. I thought that the old people were called first as a social experiment to see what the effects really are.
But it's sad, man. Because like you said,
that's horrible.
I never heard about the different age
I didn't know
groups.
there were different ones. Oh.
All right. So our next headline: a family court has heard that unlawful children's homes are demanding up to £20,000 a week per child and failing to keep vulnerable young
20?
people. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
£20,000 per child per week.
Per week, and they're failing to keep the vulnerable young people safe.
As in, the kids live there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Sad, man. Increased demand for placements, especially for children with the most complex needs, has led to costs described as breathtaking by a senior judge. The estimated bill for housing children in the one local authority area has more than doubled in 3 years to £16 million. This is what one senior manager was saying to the BBC, which he says obviously risks bankrupting the council. Judge Stephen Parker describes the cost of placements as breathtaking and comments that local authorities are essentially being left to the mercy of the private sector. Samantha Derbyshire is a senior manager at Cheshire East Council, where she's in charge of finding residential placements for children. And she was speaking to the BBC, and she said that while there are excellent Ofsted registered placements run by private companies who do not charge excessive rates, there are also private care providers who are not registered or inspected. And some of these, she says, are in it for the wrong reasons. And our next headline, this is a bit of a long one, yeah, but I'll tell you guys because I think this just came out this morning. So this is a big trigger warning as well. I don't know if this might fall into conspiracy and all that sort of stuff, especially because of what Mr. Mohamed Al Fayed was linked to, right? But he's been accused of trigger warning as well. He's been accused of multiple rapes by staff. So 5 women say that they were raped by the former Harrods boss, Mohamed Al Fayed, when they worked at the luxury London department store. The BBC has heard testimony from more than 20 female ex-employees who say that the billionaire who died last year, aged 94, sexually assaulted them, including rape. The documentary and podcasts, this is coming out or maybe just dropped, Al Fayed, Predator at Harrods, gathered evidence that during his ownership of Harrods not only failed to intervene, but helped cover up abuse allegations. Harrods' current owner said that they were utterly appalled by the allegations and that his victims have been failed, for which the store sincerely apologised. The barrister Bruce Drummond, from a legal team representing a number of the women, said that the spider's web of corruption and abuse in this company was unbelievable and very dark. The incidents took place in London, also in Paris, Saint-Tropez, and also in Abu Dhabi. One of the women who says that Fayed raped her at his Park Lane apartment said, "I made it obvious that I didn't want that to happen. I did not give consent. I just wanted it to be over." Another woman said that she was a teenager when he raped her at a Mayfair address. She said that Mohamed Al Fayed was a monster, a sexual predator with no moral compass whatsoever. She says, adding that all the staff at Harrods were his playthings. We were all so scared. He actively cultivated fear. If he said jump, employees would ask how high.
Wild.
Al Fayed faced sexual assault claims while he was alive, but these allegations are of unprecedented scale and seriousness, and the BBC believe that many more women have been assaulted. That's it for headlines, guys. It's time to pay them bills.
All right. Is the rotation next?
Yeah.
I don't know what's next.
Yeah,
okay. Let's get into it.
Yes, people, welcome to the rotation, where I talk everything music. Let's adjust it again. All good? All right, cool. So, last week, I'm not gonna lie, or this week, we've had quite a few slow releases, to be honest. I'm not gonna be talking much about the releases. I'm gonna go through them. So we had Terrence Martin, Nintendo Soul, Talib Kweli and J. Rules, The Confidence of Knowing, Babe, Inside Voices, Akemi, Fox, In the Dark, and Babyface Ray. The 2 projects we'll be talking about today is Babe, Inside Voices, Side A. Brent, you got the graphics?
I am working on it.
While Brent is doing that,
Bathe would be this one, right?
that is correct. Thank you very much. Now, Ed, did you get time to listen to it?
Yep.
Come on. Iman, did you get time to listen to it?
Yep.
Okay. Brent, did you get time to listen to it?
I always do my homework.
Lovely. So upon first listen, my rating of the EP is 2.5 out of 5.
All right.
Brent, how did you feel? What say you?
Let me pull up my notes.
While he's doing that, Ed, what say you?
So I give it a 2.5 as well.
Okay. Emmanuel, what say you?
I give it a 3.
Okay, cool.
I gave it a 3.5.
Okay, cool. Now, this is another EP from the Brooklyn duo Corey and Devin being the singer, with their newest EP. Personally, it started off quite strong with Badada. Lays to the beat, it was changing towards the latter end of the song. It was definitely a change from their usual sound. From Badada goes to Avalon, which was on our Put You On, that was given by Brent. Again, strong song. Then it goes into Furloughed, Bad News, Fields and Pieces. Personally, I feel like it crescendoed at the start and then dipped. And I felt like, personally, I don't think Devin has a strong voice. And I feel like the beats let him down. So that would be Corey, the other side, the guy who makes the songs, let him down. I feel like if the whole album kind of ran through like Badada, in which it had layers and it kind of picked up on where the singer lacks, it would have been a better project for me. But towards the end, it turned into just like a basic R&B album. If they'd done what Black does, because Black's voice isn't strong, and just to reiterate, Devin's voice isn't strong to me at all, but it doesn't mean he can't make a good song. If he does what Black does and has a lot more of a stronger instrumental, I feel like it would have carried the album a lot more. What do you think?
So I said, on my notes I wrote that I enjoyed the vibes of the first song, Badada. And I think that was my second favorite. I think my favorite was Fields. But yeah, the other four, it didn't like you said. So it didn't. How do I put it? It didn't mesh well. They didn't mesh together. The beat and the vocals didn't mesh well together. And I kind of at points felt like, especially with the vocals, it felt like what was his name? The singer, Dev. Yeah, Dev. Yeah, he felt like he was like very much biting Frank. And sort of like a T move, like almost like a bootleg version of Frank. It just didn't.
What, Frank Ocean?
Yeah.
I was thinking. I got that.
It felt like he was trying to force that, and it's like he doesn't have the sonics that Frank has.
Okay.
But it was but he was trying to like force that sort of sound, and it was sort of like that didn't sit with me well, and I didn't sort of.
Okay. You lot felt the same.
Yeah. I heard Frank Ocean.
Yeah, I didn't feel that he was biting him. In
Influenced
my head,
by-
I was like, he could be influenced.
No,
by
yeah,
him.
of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Iman, what
I
you
like
saying?
that you picked that up though.
Yeah, exactly.
What you saying?
Yeah, similar. I liked obviously Avalon, like you said. I like Fields, Pieces. Those are good tunes, but it sounds like an album that you can just kind of just play in the background.
For
Yeah,
sure.
it's 100%.
And just driving somewhere.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
It's not something that makes
Grips
you feel
you,
like,
of course.
yeah, exactly.
No.
It's not something that you feel like, okay, cool, this has changed music.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
Nothing
So I could just-
groundbreaking.
yeah. Sound was good. I feel like the music was cohesive. They didn't sound like artists that would be like, okay, cool, I'm trying to appeal to this group and that group and that group, trying to get everybody to understand my sound. No, it was like, cool, this is my lane. I'm sticking to it, and you know what I'm saying.
For sure.
I like that about that.
For sure.
I like them.
Brent?
All right. So overall, I said very smooth somethings. That is it. Badada, texture baby, texture. Avalon, you already know, banger.
Yeah.
I'm not picking it. Full load, didn't have any like sayings for this one.
That what you just said was my feeling towards the whole end of the album.
Yeah.
There's not, like you said, it didn't. Nothing was groundbreaking. I was listening to it and I was going, and I was waiting. But yeah, sorry.
And I guess, do we need to expect groundbreaking each time?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a very good question. It's just, it's not necessarily, I'm not looking for looking for no worries all the time because that's unrealistic. But I am looking for something that differentiates your music to everyone else's. And Dev and basically Babe, they were going out saying it's their first EP. They worked 2 years on it. And personally, I don't think that reflects 2 years of work.
Well, sometimes that could be a hindrance because you've taken so long to basically put something out, right? And did you revisit it and then look to
tweak it?
Bring it back to modern times.
That's a good point.
You know,
yes,
But
yes, because it'd be outdated.
But sometimes 2 years of work is more like saying, okay, we're starting today and we've gone through so many different sounds. And we scrapped something, we did this and we did that. And so we settled at this after 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
cool. Bad news. Love his voice. Feels so smooth and pieces smooth. That is it.
Okay.
That is it.
Cool. Well, regardless, they can only improve.
Yeah,
and I'm definitely a big fan of their
talent
sound
is there.
now, and seeing as how they're so new, it can only go up. Next project is by Kemi Fox, In the Dark. Now we have Manchester's very own. I give this 3 out of 5 rotations. Ed.
I promise I'm not copying you. I did 3 as well.
No, that's not a problem. Finally, someone's agreeing with me. You, man.
3.
3, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if we get a full house. Brent.
3.
Oh, shit. Mad, okay. I like that. That's the first time that's happened. So it consists of 7 songs. Each, personally, I find her voice quite soft, sultry. Each song gives me a different vibe. It wasn't a very set in one sound kind of EP. Yeah, man, she's worked with the beat. That's the difference from what I find with Babe and Akemi, is that Akemi works with the sound that she's going with on each track. Check In With Me, Press Play, and What We Started are the standouts for me. She's relatively new. I believe she opened up for Children of Zeus and a couple other big bands, but she's relatively new on the scene. I think I want to say she's only been making music for a few years, although she's been writing since she was younger. But she's definitely new in the scene, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing her trajectory from here. What are you lot saying?
Me again?
Yeah, if you want.
All right, yeah. So like you said, I enjoyed the variety of songs on there. What We Started was my standout, but not so much for her as actually because of KSR. Like I really enjoyed what he did on that track. Like,
Really?
Yeah. Like I liked her. I'm saying that I didn't like what she did, but he felt like a standout on that track.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel opposite. I could easily have him off the track.
Fair. And then I said that Be Yourself is probably my second favorite of that, not like very close second. And I was in reference to Give It To Me, which I also liked. I appreciate the thing I appreciate most about Give It To Me is it's very much, it wasn't like, it was a sultry song, but it wasn't like vulgar. It wasn't.
Okay,
You know
so
what I mean?
with that
Like,
Meg
I
Thee
enjoyed-
Stallion, Cardi B type shit.
I mean, I can hear that in my R&B sometimes, but I'm not trying to hear that in all my R&B songs. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Hold My Face. I like Hold My Face, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think everything similar to the last album. Nothing really stood out like that. I think there were a few tracks that were good. What We Started as well. I like Hold My Face. There's another track. I'm trying to remember the hook though, so I can't remember the actual name of the track. But yeah, there was like 3 that made me feel okay, cool. But again, her sound. A lot of the time with these artists, I'm just hearing someone who's talented, who can sing, understands music, and is doing their thing. There's nothing that really makes me be like, okay, cool, I need to come back to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, she's good, and you can tell there's a lot of potential there. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Press Play is clean. What Have We Started? Beautiful. Be Yourself, smooth. That is it.
That's it?
That's it, bro.
All right, cool. Let's move to Put You On.
All right.
I want to remember this song.
Just try and follow me. Is that cool, Brent? So the first one is Projects featuring Marksman and Gigs, Top Speed.
Okay.
Me, I would give this song 2.5 out of 5 rotations. Ed?
Well, I suggested it, so it's a free from me.
Cool.
That's a 4, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I
Okay.
think that's a 4.
And Brent,
It's just clean, man. It's 4.
come on. How are they giving it more than you?
It's clean.
Nah, I like the
that's a
song as
4.
well, but it's not my favorite one of his songs.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
like,
I think projects. If it was just projects alone, I would. No, sorry. Yeah, fuck it. If it was just projects alone and maybe gigs, I would have liked it a lot more. I didn't like the third verse from Marksman. Because Marksman was saying to wild shit, like I take her in the truck and she's gonna do this. I'm something. I was like, all right, this is a random bar. But the beat and everything, it reminded me of the other hit song that Giggs has with Deneo. The flow and
Yes,
the beat.
the beat, yeah.
Yeah. The beat, the way it kind of bounces, reminded me of that. But projects that he was. I think they overdone the chorus a bit too much, but I liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
Ed, I don't know if it is you've gotten the concept of put you on. You don't suggest something that's mediocre.
I didn't even mediocre. It wasn't. It was just I went for something that I felt like people would take in. Pause in terms of because Giggs is featured. Because Giggs is featured, I thought people might want to actually would take that. Would actually listen.
Do you really enjoy this one?
It's not my favorite one, no. But
Don't recommend it for people then.
Hey, to be fair, it worked though, because you lot love it. So I mean,
Yeah, 100%.
so yeah. But
still
I felt it's a
technically put you
good.
on.
Yeah, I felt like it was a good gateway to get you to get in, as opposed to like going for some one of the more sort of niche songs of his that I like.
All right, I want you to basically put us onto the ones that you think are gems first. You understand? So you could bring me in. You accidentally brought me on this one. You understand? All right.
Iman, do you want to add anything more to the song?
No, I just liked it. The beat again reminded me of the Deneo tune. I think Giggs did a good job on it. Project Sky did a good job. Yeah. From when I heard the Project Sky first, I was sold.
Bro.
I was just hoping Giggs did his thing.
Yeah,
That's
same,
what I was just
same.
hoping. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad he delivered.
Brent?
Yeah, I like it. It's smooth, man. I like it.
Okay, next one. Sienna Spiral, hope I'm saying that right. Need Me.
Right, can you remember when it is? We were in the car. I think it was outside of I think it was either Lidl or Safeways or whatever. It's in Stratford, and I said I don't understand gigs, man.
100%.
Can you remember that?
Yeah.
I said man, I just don't understand it. Like, why is it so slow?
Was it like Morrison's?
Morrison's, that's the one.
And what happened after we left Morrison's? Do you remember? We heard like 3 different cars random playing gigs.
Yeah. Playing it. I took
Crazy.
a while to basically understand.
When was this?
It was
roughly?
such a shift.
Just
Is that Talking the Hardest?
Yeah. Them times.
I was early.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's exactly the same as you. Exactly the same as you.
See, I'm local, so we got it from Dot. Like,
Oh, you had to. You got beat up. You had a choice. You had a choice.
All right, cool.
But yeah, Sienna Spiral, Need Me.
Right, this is which one is that? What's the cover like?
I think
It's the white girl, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to say that, but
It's
yeah.
not the one.
No, that one.
There we are.
Yes.
So that song for me is 3.5 out of 5.
I said 2.5.
Okay.
I like Ed's because I'm in the 2.53 max for this. This sounded like I'll get
Go
to it
on.
after.
Go on, Brent.
This is 4.
Get out of it.
The texture
How
of her
raspy,
voice,
yes. The raspiness
crazy.
and the strings in the end,
The
fucking
texture
wild.
of this girl's voice,
Bro.
You're saying that you're looking for the one. You listen to this, you're like, "Whoo, that's an
He's right.
That's an instrument."
The raspiness of her voice and the way she's able to carry that, almost like Anderson Paak-esque, except she can sing.
What does that mean?
Anderson Paak isn't really known singer. He
a
sings
singer.
strongly.
He's a
No,
good singer.
he can sing, but it's like the same way we talk about other singers. They're not really singing. She can sing. Anderson Paak doesn't really sing. He sings. There's a
He
difference.
doesn't overdo it. That's why.
You thought she overdone it?
No, I don't think she overdo
Oh,
it.
okay.
Does it? But like to me, this sounded like a song, a safe song. Nice music, someone you can sing, done, song done.
Everyone has that though.
Yeah, but
I think
this is this.
But that was a good version of that, because even towards the latter end of the song, when the strings came in, I was like, oh no. Oh, she cooking.
It's a nice song, but it's like, it's just I have to be in a mood to listen
Oh,
to
for
this,
sure.
you know
Oh,
what
for
I'm
sure.
saying?
But that's
And
what music is.
Rarely would I be in the mood to listen to this.
That's what music is. It's to do with mood. It's the way how it makes you feel.
And shout out to Nikki for putting me on this girl.
Shout out Nikki.
Yeah. She's sent me a whole set of tracks to check out.
Okay.
And I'm working my way through it.
Shout out Nikki.
And this was right to the top. When I heard it, I'm like, ooh, this girl's voice is pristine.
Word. It gave me Adele vibes, or is that
Yes,
just me?
it did. Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it.
Yeah, I didn't want it.
Okay.
She ain't got the range that Adele has to win me over on a ballad. Like you got
Thank you.
to win me over with a ballad. Your vocals got to be like A1.
But
you know what I
she's
mean?
a good vocalist.
She's good. Yeah, I'm not saying
Yeah.
she's not bad. Yeah, I'm not saying she's bad. It's just I felt like the production was, up there, but like I felt like her voice just couldn't get to the level that the production was.
I think she shows a lot of potential. She's still very young.
Oh, she's good.
I enjoyed that song. I'm looking forward to listening to more of her work. Oh, pardon me. Let me see where we're going. Let's do Safe, Same Night, please. This one for me is 2.5 out of 5.
Oh, I gave it a 3.5.
I give this like a 3. I can't give it more than a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brent?
3.5.
Okay.
I really like
Personally,
this.
I found it, again, quite samey R&B. Not very strong vocals. The lyrics were the only thing that was interesting about the song. Instrumental didn't do that for me. It was just that. It was a quickie car R&B song. I don't know what else to say.
Well, isn't this cheating, Brent? Someone else doing your homework? I, wherever I get it from, I have to put the people on, right? Right?
Yeah, of
I'll
course.
find
If
it.
there's a good song, it doesn't matter. If you find
right.
a good song, you find a good song.
All right, cool. Someone cheated.
Ed, what do you think of the song?
Yeah, so there was I enjoyed the vibe. It was very fun. I enjoyed the content of the song, like what he was actually saying, like a lot more. That's what, and I've actually started listening to the actual project itself because I really liked the content of what he was saying. It felt very honest and real. And I was
All
like,
right, then. It does. I can understand that.
That's where I deducted the points. Because I was thinking,
You're putting you in the feels too much.
what? No, not. It's like
You think it's fake?
it's definitely not fake.
Oh, okay,
We
okay.
know there's plenty of them out there.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, it's just not my reality, innit? So it's like, why are you in a situation where you're choosing the babes that will do that sort of stuff? You know what I'm saying? And I just thought, this is only for them, man. So I can't relate. But it sounded good though. That's why I give it a 3. It sounded good. But yeah.
Brent, anything else to add?
I think it was very, very nice. I mean, I'm biased. I'm really sold in on Danielle. Yeah?
I know,
Anything
I
she
know.
basically puts forward.
Of course.
She doesn't miss, you
You're
know.
shook.
She
Danielle.
doesn't miss.
Yeah, Danielle.
You still got shook.
Shook. Brent, shook. Okay.
Shook ones there. I know where my bread's buttered, mate.
Let's get on to the last one, which was, just to give you a lot of context, this was a submission from Lauren. Shout out Lauren. It's one of our artists performing at Bloom on the 8th of October.
Okay.
South London's very own Maya K. Tipsy. I give this song a 3 out of 5 rotations. 808 heavy. The content in it, I really enjoyed. Her vocals are pretty good. She's still very new. And I'm looking forward to seeing how she performs. Ed.
we're on the same page. It's a 3 again. I wrote that content-wise it was dark, but I enjoyed the vibes of it. It kind of gave me like swimming pools in that sense of like,
Yes.
you know, like the content is a bit, like it's a bit like when you really hear the lyrics, you're like, oh, she's actually talking about it from a dark point of view. But it's sort of the waviness of the actual production makes you sort of forget almost for a second.
I think it's a good tune, man. I think it's that modern sort of R&B sort
For
of thing.
sure,
where
that
she
trap kind of 808, yeah.
And then was she even rapping on it? She was kind
No,
of
she was
not
no,
rapping,
singing.
but she was kind of
I
singing.
think she was
in such
singing,
a-
yeah, like...
in a-
Yeah,
in a-
I still
you
say
know
she
what I'm
was
trying to say,
singing.
innit?
Yeah.
She's definitely singing, but it's like I guess the rhythm when she was singing certain parts was kind of like a rapper sort of. But a nice tune, man. I'll give it like a 3. But I do feel like this is a tune that if she's singing live, especially if she sounds the same live, people love this tune.
100%.
Yeah.
If the sound's done correctly, which I'm sure it will be at Bloom,
Yeah,
it
people love
be
this.
hard, word.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Brent?
So I've given it 3. However, I've said I would like to hear it phone, because this might be 3.5, maybe 4 live.
Yeah. That's. I don't think there's anything else. There is a track I'm gonna send to you from the Talib Kweli
Okay.
album that I think you'd really like, but I don't think there's anything else to discuss. So that brings rotation to a close. Thank you, people.
Thank you very much yet again. Thank you for all the contributors, Ed and Iman.
Yes.
Debut. Huh.
Come
What
on.
did you do? What did you do?
Nah, I liked it.
Yeah?
It was definitely a lot more talk. I like that, especially the discourse we had earlier about Sienna.
Oh yeah.
Is it Sienna? Yeah, Sienna.
So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I enjoyed it. Thank you, lot.
Okay. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Earlier, I think in
So
beginning of the show, I'm thinking, huh? But it was just 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
All right, now time to basically put Ed on the hot seat.
For what?
This is his section.
it's my section, yeah. Okay.
Topic of the day.
My topic.
Oh my gosh, I'm the topic of the day.
Oh, you forgot.
Man, let's get into it.
Saving the best till last.
So for your lateness, you can go on a timer.
Brent, you got the clip lined up.
Did you send me a clip?
it's in the thingy.
Okay.
The dark.
Yeah, the one with my on in my opinion.
All
Podcast.
right.
If not, I'll send it to you again.
No, it's okay.
Oh crap!
That's a crazy way you typed that. Crazy way you typed that.
Honoring our mums by like not having a relationship with our dads. Like, my dad didn't do this, so F him.
Yeah.
But what we're actually doing is cutting off a part of ourselves that we won't understand. So my whole thing is that if you have a dad that's even in your life, like, you can still ring him regardless of what will come out of his mouth. Listening to him and understanding as much as possible will arm you to know that you don't recreate the same thing that he created. One of the things that came up in therapy was this idea of a mother wound that many, many men have. And so because dads were absent or weren't doing their full weight, it meant that mothers were stressed out and the relationship with their mothers are fractured. I've observed people talking to their partner wicked and bad in a mad way as men. I can see them almost as a child talking to their mother. When you have those type of wounds, your partnerships show up in the exact same way. So many black men need to heal that relationship with their mother and understand why they were the person that they were. Also, the same thing for their dad. You have to start to forgive people because you carry that thing and it impacts your life. People have a father wound, but that mother wound for so many men is what is recreating a lot of this fracture. And so it's important to investigate that. And I feel like a lot of men are...
Is that just repeated? Or was that the same?
Yeah, I think so. I think it starts again. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Let's have it, Ed. Let's have it.
All right. So
You want that video of that guy? Let's fucking have it. I love that video. I love that meme so much.
yeah. So this one, I've seen this clip of him a few months back. I forgot to get you guys to try to talk about it then, but it was a very good conversation. But yeah, in my own opinion, that if you ever get a chance, go find Marvin's episode on in my opinion, it's a great episode.
Abby.
Yeah, no, not Marvin Abbey.
Oh,
That guy.
I forgot his last name.
what's the podcast called?
In my opinion,
In my opinion, okay.
yeah.
I think it's very interesting. I think it's interesting. I think sometimes though, so they're basically saying that you shouldn't not like a parent because the parent that has raised you doesn't like that parent.
So I think that's how he starts. He sort of
Yeah.
starts by talking about the fact that some of us, you know, it's directly our relationship with our parents is directly because our mother, in many cases, has a bad relationship with our father. So therefore, we end up having bad relationships with our fathers. But well, I really want to take it, and I think I think it can go for both sides, not just for boys who grow up with daughters, but I think women as well who've grown up in similar situations, where it's like, what does forgiving that parent look like? Because you know, to obviously, I feel there's different ways for it. I feel like for me myself, I can go like to an extent. I feel like I've forgiven my dad, but forgiveness for me doesn't look like maybe what it does to fathers. Where I feel like for me, forgiveness has been, I've accepted his shortcomings, and sort of gone, all right, this is his shortcomings. That's not going to change. You know, where I understand some of his, you know, thought process and whatnot, but you know, that's sort of it. In terms of a relationship,
In terms of
there's no,
active relationship.
yeah, there's no active relationship there.
I hear you.
But I've sort of feel like I've moved on from the fact of, okay, like I no longer feel like, woe is me, why was my dad not perfect for me and blah blah blah. It's sort of like, I just,
Yeah.
but I don't know what, I don't know what others feel like. Like, does a relationship have to be built to be deemed truly forgiveness? Can it just be, you know, how I've said, can it be like literally, can it be something completely different? Like, how do people view that sort of forgiving?
I think like you. I think that because I'm pro. Okay, so I am pro loving people from a distance. I'm also pro just because I've forgiven you doesn't mean that you have to be in my life. I think it's possible to forgive somebody and they're not an active participant in your life, because I can forgive you for the harm or the hurt or whatever it is that you've done to me, but as a person, you're not somebody that I want to have in my life. I don't align with your morals. I don't align with your values, or what you've done has hurt me that we can't come back from this. So yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that you have to actively have a relationship with a parent that maybe did something to you for it to be truth. I don't think there's like true forgiveness, because like you said, I feel like forgiveness looks different for each person. But what I was going to say something else I forgot now. Crap. Well, that'll do it.
I think similar to what you guys said, I don't think forgiveness requires you to then try and do exactly the same thing as before, or trying to, you know what I mean? But I think forgiveness is more so, like you said, just acknowledging, okay, this was occurred, you don't like it, but fine, I'm past it. It's not going to be something that's going to affect my life, or at least consciously affect my life. I'm not going to think of this particular thing and blame you again. I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like you've kind of wiped the slate clean, but you've also made a conscious decision to be like, okay, I can't necessarily afford to risk
I'll move forward again.
a repeat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, cool, I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
I think in an ideal situation, it would be good to build, you know, especially with our parents, right? Because I just feel like there's just so many things we don't understand about the things they went through. That sometimes I think from our, lack of a better word, privileged position, right?
Oh, wow.
You're using the word privileged.
Wow. He's never used that word.
He hates that word.
I did it for you guys.
He hates when you say he's
I told you,
privileged.
this is new, man. This
This
is
sounds
new, man.
privileged.
it's
No,
not.
it's not new, man.
not, it's
He's
not.
got land for a while.
Yeah, he's getting better with his mask.
Look at you. You're a criminal.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like we're in a situation where we haven't had to go through the things that our parents did. Sometimes it's harsher for us, fine, but it's still different. And sometimes, like, I don't know, we kind of we don't give them that grace. You know what I'm saying? Because
Do you know what's interesting though? Sorry, Ramsey and Brent. I know you guys are bursting with contributions. I think, I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, with the parents thing, sometimes, like, I get that, because I believe in giving your parents grace and whatnot, but there's just some things that I'm sorry, you just can't come back from. Before I even touch on that quickly, I think you can't really dictate, this is why I said there's no right forgiveness, because you can't really dictate how someone should forgive you should look. I think sometimes when people apologize, or they say someone's done something to you and they apologize or whatever, and they just expect you to go back to what it was, I just think that's one of the craziest things to me that people do, because I'm like, you know that there's been a break, that there's been something here, and because you said you're sorry, or because you didn't mean to, you're just going to assume that I must then return back to what we were. But what we were did not have that thing there. But now there is a thing. So sometimes I feel like people are a bit unrealistic to expect to do something to somebody and then expecting to just go back to how it was.
Yeah.
Because it makes you uncomfortable what the new normal is, because you did this. And I feel like when people have to kind of face what it is that they've done to you and how it's broken the relationship, it makes them uncomfortable. So they'd rather just be like, oh, just forget about it, or why can't you just let things go? And I just don't believe in that. And I think when it comes to parents as well, like, I get that the time they lived in was different, and I feel like with parents there isn't a manual, because you don't know how your child's going to turn up. Kids have different needs, and there's no manual essentially to get this perfectly. But I think that part of growth is parents having to accept that they actually fell short. Like, yes, your circumstances weren't great. Yes, this was going on. Yes, that was going on. But you have to be able to recognize how it is that you've caused hurt or harm or whatever the case might be to your children. And I think that when we have conversations about like parents and people that are older than us, there's always this thing where I feel like people conflate grace and just lack of accountability as the same thing where it's like, oh, to respect them, you can't hold them accountable. But one thing about me, I'm going to hold an elder accountable. One thing about me, because I just don't believe in that, because at the end of the day, I just find it difficult to just say, because you're the parent, yeah, you're going for a lot of things. That doesn't erase the hurt that you've caused your child. Yeah. That doesn't erase whatever neglect they might feel. That doesn't erase the harm that's been done, the wound that they're feeling for what you've done. So it's not enough to just be like, well, you know, I was going through so much at the time and da-da-da-da-da. That's not enough. Actually say, do you know what? I wish I knew better. I wish I'd done better. I wish I'd had the opportunity to do better. But moving forward, I'm going to treat you with this respect, and I'm going to. Do you know what I mean? There needs to be remorse. There needs to be an acknowledgement of where you fell short as a parent. I think coming from like an African background is just this thing, especially with like, you know, absent parents and stuff like that. There's always that thing where at some age, at some point in your life, like you are then to be the parent. I don't believe in that either, because I ain't asked to be here. Nope, I don't believe in that. Where it's like a thing where so say for example, like you got an absent parent, people then expect you to be the one to make the effort to reconcile that relationship. But first of all, you're the one who had me. Furthermore, you're older than me. I thought you were meant to be wiser. And then, like that for me I've never been able to understand that. I've never been able to understand why I am the child, but then I should be the one to repair the relationship. So there's just certain things, you know, with the culture. Yeah. You can't trick me. Can't trick me. Nope.
Do you know what it is? I fully get what you're saying, yeah. But I think for me, sometimes in certain situations, and obviously context is 100% key here. Yeah. Right? But in certain situations, I think sometimes the solution is better than how we get there. You know what I'm saying? So it's, all right, cool. I've hurt you. Yeah. Fine, this, that, and the third. And I feel some type of way about repairing it or whatever it may be. Yeah. But if you really care about the fact that you valued me in your life, right? Sometimes, so again, you're the child and you're the parent. If you know that your parent is stuck in a particular mindset, they see the world in a particular way. If I really care about your input in my life, right, and what I can do for you in your life, sometimes you got to be the fool to repair the situation because the outcome is more important than, you know what I'm saying? If it was a regular Joe, cool. You can be like, okay, you can afford to do that. But I feel like for certain people, friends, close friends, parents, people that can't be replaced, I think sometimes... but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like,
I get you.
Like, you just feel like, okay, cool. You know what? For you, I can make that exception. I'm okay with looking some type of way in front of you because the end goal is more important to me.
Do you know what's tricky about that though? Because if, for example, you've got a parent who's stuck in the mindset, you're always going to be, you're forever going to be compromising in that relationship, and you're never going to be able to be yourself and truly express how you really feel because of that person. And I think that's where you got to, like you said, you got to weigh up the outcome and the and I guess the situation. Because for me, I don't believe in I don't believe in me having to play the adult when it comes to a parent relationship. Yeah. Because I'm the child. Not saying I'm an immature child or I'm not. Like, I am in this relationship where it's like type of relationship. I am the child, you are the parent. And I believe that as a parent, you need to do parent things. You need to have some sense. I can't come to you to try and impart sense into you. Yes, there's certain things we can talk about, whatever, but I think when it comes to repairing relationships, for me, I think it's important for, as the parent, you've lived longer than I did, and you made it, like, the reason why we don't have a relationship is because you made that choice. So you have to be the one to make that choice to repair it. Otherwise, what happens is that then you find yourself, if I'm the one who says, you know what, I'm going to make the effort to repair it, if you are not in a place where you felt, where you don't see the value of repairing that relationship with me, I'm forever going to be chasing attention and love and like just chasing a relationship with you that you're not qualified to give me. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And so that's what then infringes on your boundaries, because if I'm chasing all that kind of stuff, it gets to a point where even if we don't agree with stuff where it can be dealt with respect or whatever, the parent will see it as, well, you're the one who came to look for me. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I say, like, when it comes to people like with people that you can't replace, yes, you can't replace anybody. Even if I meet a stranger, like that one stranger, that person that I've met who's called, I don't know, Stacey, for example, that Stacey cannot be replaced. So that's just a fact of life. However, I do think that I believe in watering relationships and nurturing relationships, and also finding, like finding the value that you would get in certain relationships elsewhere. Do you get me? Like I've got people that are older than me, like women that are older than me. They're like mothers to me. I've got men that are older than me. They're like fathers to me. They're like uncles to me. So I feel like sometimes you've got to just find the qualities of relationships elsewhere if it's unable to come from the channel that God intended it for it to come. But I think that when we start, it just I just think that for me, I think when it comes to parent-children relationships, I'm just of the school of thought that the parent has to be conscious and make that decision to right their wrong. Otherwise, it just makes it complicated where you're just always going to be just nervous around this person. You can't really express how you feel. You can't even have a proper sit down and be like, what you did hurt me. And then what you find is that when people pass away, there's so much resentment. People underestimate how much resentment builds over time. Every time you have to silence yourself and not speak up because that person is not going to allow you to speak or not allow you to express yourself, it's building resentment. Yeah. And at some point, it blows up. Might blow up at their funeral. Tip the casket or whatnot. You just never know how it's gonna manifest. So for me, but I think the way I live is more like I don't believe there's anyone I can't live without. The only person I can't live without is God, is Jesus' child. That's my school of thought. So anybody else, I will find a way to cope and deal with that. But I do believe that we have to kind of just accept our parents, just anybody in general, but certainly our parents for who they are, because some of them are they're just the way they are. And like you said, that they've been through a lot of things. And unfortunately, during their time, they didn't have the education and the knowledge that we have to know that actually that person was depressed or that person was this or, do you get me, bipolar and all that kind of stuff. But but I just believe that with parents, I feel like when it comes to parent children, a parent has to be a parent. Yeah. Like you chose to be a parent, whether you were surprised by the baby or not, it was an oops baby or not, whatever the situation is, you were in that situation. Yeah. And I just don't think it's fair for children to have to like beg. Just have to like beg and like, you know, do whatever they can to receive their parents' love and attention. I just think it's so horrible.
Sorry, I don't want to stop you guys from
saying that. No, because you're not the best with ideas.
I don't know if these two are going to jump in or not.
But what I was going to say is...
talked up on rotation.
I agree with you fully. And I think in an ideal situation, that's what should happen. You know what I'm saying? But I think with the age should come the wisdom, like you're saying. But I think with the age and the time being on this planet and experience comes stubbornness. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you become more like a rock. And so sometimes us as the kids who are a bit more malleable, who can maybe have the education, maybe see things from certain angles that our parents will never look from, right? Again, if you kind of value what you can bring to their life and what they can bring to your life, I think sometimes, again, I'm not advocating for nonsense.
But it's worth like trying.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how I see it. And also, kind of to tie back to what you said about how if somebody does you wrong, for example, sometimes I fully agree with what you're saying as well. If somebody does you wrong, the relationship may not be the same going forward because, again, the relationship before didn't have that thing that you've now inputted, right? But I think sometimes it's like, if you know the value of that person and what they've done and how much you love and care for them, or at least how much they love and care for you, right? Yes, that thing has now been injected into the situation. But if you can remember the type of person they are and know that's a mistake, why is it that you are prepared to maybe throw everything away or at least not have all of that good thing that you had before in the future because of that one thing? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, obviously, we make mistakes as well. And sometimes you can't necessarily gauge the gravity of a particular mistake. But as human beings, why would you throw it away for, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything else that you've gained from that relationship. Ramsey's shaking his head. Why? Tell me.
I don't know. I think I agree mostly with what you're saying. I'm not forgiving. I don't care.
I didn't say that.
I don't care about.
What I said.
Ramsey said God forgives Adam.
I don't care about what you've been through.
said I
don't care. If we, like Esther said, we didn't ask to get put in this world. You brought us in, and if you're taking out your life's hardships, which is what you brought up, we don't know what they've been through. If you're taking it out on your child, that's wrong. I don't need to empathize with you. I don't need to sympathize with you. You're taking it out on the person you brought into this life that you were supposed to protect, and you're doing wrong by them.
Would you want that grace from your son?
No, I don't think I would do bad to my son.
That's what
I'll
I'm
make
saying
mistakes.
That's what I'm saying to you.
But I'm talking about big mistakes.
That's the thing. A lot of the time you see things as a big mistake because you're not the one doing it.
Nah, I'm
telling you that's a fact.
Okay, I'm talking from personal experience.
No, I understand.
I don't talk to one of my parents.
I understand.
I won't.
I understand because
But
of
at
what's
what
happened
point-
to you, right? But what I'm saying to you is sometimes the thing that you think is a big error, right, is something that's a small thing to somebody else, and vice versa. So you may see it as a small mistake.
Yeah, he's
to
saying
your
it's
son.
all relative. is
That's what I'm
he's
saying to you.
All right, but in my story,
It's a big deal.
and the
course,
way
I
took
get it.
So it's big for all parties.
It's big.
I get it, yeah, I get it.
Other people. That's you're bringing up a good point. But I'm saying, so take my situation, which I find is a big story.
Yeah.
It could be different for others. So take whatever
100%.
qualifies as something big to everyone.
Yeah.
Are you able to overcome that for your parent?
I think it also depends on the parent as well. So for example,
mean?
so let's just say if my mum did something that I really hated, my brain doesn't operate in a way where I forget what she's done from the beginning. Because I know that woman, if there's anybody I can vouch for in this entire world that loves me, I know it's that woman.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So if she does something that I detest, I may be upset, but I know what you've done for me. I know the sacrifice. I know how you see me. So I can be like, okay, cool. I hate this, but after a certain amount of time, I have to repair this.
Okay,
You
so
know what I'm saying?
what if we then bring in another scenario? What if it's a habitual problem?
Then that's
Consistently,
different. Yeah,
it's
that's
done. And obviously, I get one big thing. I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
think of one. But say if one parent done one thing you didn't agree with, and you detested it, I understand someone overcoming that.
Yeah.
But there are parents who do stuff habitually.
That's a problem.
To break down their children.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Or they're not taking their children's feelings into account. And being a parent, there is nothing more paramount than my child.
I agreed.
I'm thinking about I think I posted some meme. It was like, the old white lady, she's doing that. She's like frantic. It's like parents now are a lot more conscious of their mental health, physical health, what they're eating, who they're around.
Yeah.
We're so conscious of everything that's around. That's now his things become my life. The way I react to things. And me and my wife we do a thing where if we have done wrong, we tell him immediately.
Yeah.
Daddy got frustrated. I'm sorry. Daddy done this because I felt like this at this time. I shouldn't have done that. And I'm sorry that I done that to you. And do you need some time aside? Putting gold up at this time is jokes.
Sorry.
Relationships are gold, man.
Gold never stops. And that's now allowed him to become a lot more in tune with his own feelings and understand what upsets him. Whereas in my household when I was young, it was you're the child, you're to be seen and not heard type thing. Or whatever you're into isn't important. It's the parent, it's the adults talking now. And I feel like that has such profound effects on children.
It does.
Someone just joined the Discord.
Oh, hey, you're right. It has such a profound effect on the child growing up. It breaks down their confidence. And I think that's lifelong issues. If I can now cut off that toxic parent, I will and I have immediately. Especially if I know what is done to my family. That's basically where I stand.
And I agree with you because again, like you said, that's a habitual thing that's causing a continual problem. You know what I'm saying? I understand, but I just feel like sometimes in those situations where it's not like that, a lot of time we feel like we've seen everything. Just yesterday, I was watching something on Netflix about Nigerian. These are like Nigerian aunties and uncles now, right? 50s, 60s, who were during the time in the 80s, 70s, when these white parents would foster them basically. Yeah?
Right.
Farming, exactly. And they were basically talking to like a counselor or somebody or whatever. I can't remember what it's called on Netflix. It's a good thingy. And one of them was basically like, she held a lot of resentment for her parents, right? But it was only until she was 55 when she came across her parents' memoirs and how they documented certain things. And she saw the lengths they went to try and find the best person for her. And also the pain it was in leaving the child there, that she understood, wait a minute, it wasn't a case of just abandoning me. It was a case of me putting me somewhere where they can go and do X, Y, Z. It was also the time as well. And also, it was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like there was love there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But sometimes
that isn't there.
But the problem is, so why can't parents just explain that to their children though? Because I feel like we expect kids the child in scenarios to grow up to a point where they then realize the value of the relationship with their parent, blah 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 blah. Why don't we put that expectation and onus on the parents to also grow up and see what value it is to have your children, especially if you don't want to end up by yourself. Do you get what I mean? Like, why is that expectation not placed on them as well?
Yeah.
That's why I believe in. That's my thought process. Why I say about a child being a child and the parent has to be the one to step up to reconcile that relationship with the child. Because fair enough, you had all these stresses and your child is an adult now. At some point, you must actually sit down and reflect on things. But like, you know, we're not very close. We're not this. Even like, okay, just have a conversation. Why? Obviously, naturally human beings find conversations uncomfortable. But again, back to that thing of, if you feel like this is valuable and it's something worth repairing, then why can't you sit down and have this conversation with your children?
Yeah. If they can't be accountable, is it just if they can't fully take accountability, is that just a no-go?
It's a no for me.
For any sort of rebuild.
I think it also
think so.
depends.
Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Hiya, morning.
Who are you speaking to, please?
Hey, I'll stay anonymous for a bit.
That's all right, babes. You can always stay anonymous. What's your thoughts on the topic?
Do you know what? This one is quite personal because I have a very fractured relationship with one of my parents. And the annoying thing is, when we were growing up, I knew, and it was very clear, I didn't feel like one of my parents really cared or loved me. And it got to a point where I was looking forward to when he would die.
Oh, wow. I hear it.
And I would say to myself, and my brother would be like, oh, when he dies, we're going to play Celebration by Kool and the Gang. That was like, that was like the thing that we used to say.
No, you got that playlist. That is crazy.
Honestly, the relationship was so bad that at one point my parents were not together, and then when they did get back together, it was a bit of like a shock to the system, like to me and my brother, because of what we had experienced. With with my dad when we were kids, just how he was such a horrible person. And I can say that I hated him. I can't even say, I disliked him. For me, what I had for him was hate. It came from the bottom of my heart. Then move on. My brother died and my dad is still alive. And that was probably one of the points in my life where I thought, how on earth? I kind of like had a bone to pick with God, because I always thought my dad was a horrible person. I felt betrayed in a way. And so now I was left in a position where I had to come to terms with it, and having to deal with it, it's hard to forgive. But what you end up doing is finding a comfortable place. Like for me, it's hard. Every time I go home, my dad's there and I hate it. Do you know what I mean?
So
and there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, I have to tolerate it. I have to do it for my mom. It's just one of those things. And I have tried to speak to him in the past. And within 5 minutes, I realized every time he said, excuse me, he had a bottle of brandy, he would go and down it. So there was, even if you speak to him, there was nothing that was going to be resolved. And he's such a closed person, you can't really get much out of him. And it's just like, it's not up to me now. But the annoying thing, he's getting old, and I know it's going to be up to me to look after him when he gets old, because there's no one else.
But then,
so
would you
parents?
Sorry, go on.
Sorry.
No, go on, babe. Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know why it has to be us to try and mend things because they're proud.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. Yeah.
But even like with the taking care of him stuff, is that something that you're working, like kind of prepping yourself to be able to do?
I am, because I feel, I don't think there's no one else who will do it. It's gonna fall onto me.
But then, yeah, let me not give, because as for me in my household, because I just don't believe, like, I think how you think in terms of, I just don't see why the onus would be on me. But also as well, I just feel like this is part of the reason why you should have really tried to amend things, because, like, I don't believe in, I'm just not going to do it just because it's a thing out. I'll see you later. It's a thing out of obligation. If that makes sense. Because that's just going to be uncomfortable for me. Now I'm uncomfortable in my own home, and I'm having to look at the cause of my trauma every day. Oh,
I had to go through like a 4-year period of therapy trying to deal with the outcomes and just how to see things differently because he's there. I can't not be there, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, I get you.
There is one other parent who I care and love so much, and it's just like, yeah, but there's this other half who drives me nuts. And the amount of times I'm just like, oh, do you know what? If you didn't wake up today, we'd be fine, actually. It's just like, oh.
If anything happens,
so even our mothers they have to. I don't think they think about how some of their decisions affect their kids, because I have.
I think we've lost you.
It's Emmanuel Spirit.
Emmanuel left the room and then the connection went. Connection went with him. It's crazy.
Hopefully returns.
You back?
Sorry, I'm back.
There we go.
Go back.
Before Emmanuel took with him.
Yeah, I'm back. Like, our parents don't think about, especially our mothers, when they have to stay with these men, they don't think about how it will affect their kids. All they care about is, how will society see me if I'm a divorced or not married woman anymore? They don't think about the well-being of their kids, which I think that's one thing. As much as I love my mom, she overlooked that bit and didn't think of us and how we'll take the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't meant to be. That was not the plan. We were meant to have a fresh start, and then all of a sudden there was this other person.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry that you've had to deal with that. You know, because I know, like, if I was, it's difficult. It's a tricky situation to be in, especially with you having to actually think about if you had to be his carer, for example, he had to come and stay with you and stuff.
Yeah.
But don't put your hand up first when they say he wants to take care of him. Like, you know, see
that's the problem.
Options available.
There's no one.
Oh gosh.
Can I ask caller? Just in terms of, because I guess it can go to all of us as well. But in terms of your relationships, like, how do you feel like it's what you've experienced has that manifested itself in your relationships?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you know what though? When I was having therapy, something that came up, because there was a point where my mom left me with my grandparents, and what my therapist said to me was, you were lucky because a lot of kids in your position feel neglected. So even though I was neglected by this one parent, the love and attention that I got from my grandparents was enough to fill that void. So that specific period in my life where I would have been lacking, I had everything.
It's good to hear.
That's nice, you know. I like productive therapy sessions. That's that's a good way to think about it. Oh, babes. Thank you for sharing that with us, though.
Yeah, appreciate that.
It's all right.
Yeah, some people that listen. Some people might need a kidney from me one day. Oh, I'm waiting. You're not getting no kidney from me. They're going eBay, bro.
No, but I get it. Like, I think forgiveness is for God.
Like,
it's so hard.
Like, I'm a forgiving person, but
so
do you know what?
hard to forgive.
I can only forgive though if you're accountable. Like, do you know what is like the situation I can actually move on from, and I have this energy with like everybody, like family, friends, strangers, whatever it is. I can, like, forgiveness can be fine, relationships can be repaired, but if you're just going to look at me and deny what you did, I can't help you. I have nothing for you.
Not acknowledge it. Like,
do you get me?
Like it happened. Yeah.
I know it makes you uncomfortable, but it's been hurting me. And I think that's the thing. People are not willing to put their uncomfortable feeling aside to have the difficult situation. Because essentially, like, it's you holding up I actually did a TikTok on this. It's basically like a mirror to their face of, this is who you are. This is who there's who you've been pretending to be, but actually this is who you are. And what you're looking at in the mirror is you're a piece of shit. And you've got to look at that and say, damn, do you know, I was a piece of shit. I'm actually sorry. And that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. So they'd rather just kind of try and rewrite history and be like, oh, it wasn't that deep, or I didn't really mean it, or just try and scoot past excuses. But it's like, but that has left an impact on that person. And I think people don't understand, like, people underestimate how things can go on to affect people. Because like you asked about relations, there's so many things that are from our parents, whether good or bad, that actually manifest into how we are. Like I always say, as a child, you have a child who is like a blank canvas, and the parents are the ones that pour the most on them. Once the child starts going to school and talking to other people and whatever else, there's just more from society just coming up. And I always say that for me, my adulting journey is me starting a blank canvas and filling it with things that I want to fill in, like things that I like, things that I've learned from people, things that I don't like, I put it to the side, my culture, my tradition, my religion. So that's how I see adulting, is me having to then fill in my blank canvas. Like I'm old enough now to get a blank canvas. I'm gonna fill it in with things that I want. And I think people just underestimate how much that the things that you do to people can affect them. And I think with parents, like Christy said something about we give too much grace. Word, like I think, but then because I'm from an African background, it's always that thing about respect. No, I respect people that deserve to be respected. That's because when I growing up, it's always like you respect all elders. As I growing up, I realized some of you are pieces of shit. You don't deserve no respect, 100%. And I will not be giving you that respect because you don't act like somebody that I should respect. Want me to respect you, but then you don't even carry yourself as someone that is worthy of being respected. Do you get what I mean? So how does that work? But it is tricky, man, especially when it comes to parents and stuff. But I'm in a place where I reconcile, like when it comes to relationships and stuff, because I do a lot of like thinking, journaling, like reflecting and stuff. I have to think about worst case scenario, like how would I feel when this person dies? And unfortunately, I've lost people that are really close to me. So I know what my grieving process looks like. And sometimes with certain people, I've just like, whilst you've been alive, there's been that hurt and pain there. But I'm still aware that you're alive. And there's still that little bit of hope that it could change. But when you're dead, I can then just finally grieve and just deal with that. And I think also people don't clock that when it comes to like abandonment and stuff like that, that is a form of grief. Grief is not just when somebody's actually just died and left the world. It's also to do with abandonment. It's also to do with breakups. It's like heartbreak, all that stuff. You grieve, even when you lose a job, you grieve these things. So, you know, as for me, my temple, child, I know where I'm going. But, yeah. Thank you, my lovely.
Thank you.
No worries.
I don't know if you
guys.
want to. I don't know if you want to jump in on that, Ramsey, but just in terms of be it past or currently, do you feel like?
How do I even hang up?
Just like me. She said, how do I even hang up?
Technical difficulties.
No, I'll kick you out.
No, I was just saying, I don't know if you want to speak on just like how you feel like it's affected past or current relationship, like that. Those those issues that you've grown up with that have created a bad relationship with your parents, like how that sort of manifested itself in current or previous relationships.
So very quickly, Iman, stop texting and driving. Stop. If you want to get involved in the conversation, you should have been here.
It makes me acutely aware of what not to do. So to answer your question, is that I see the flags, and if I find myself going in that direction, then I stop myself.
Catch yourself.
Yeah, especially when it comes to my child. So there's stuff that I'm not gonna do to my son that was done to me or my siblings. It becomes the benchmark of what not to do. And I refuse to ever be that person. So that kind of answers your question pretty quick. But there are other aspects of my life where I've taken unintentionally, I've manifested that side of my family, i.e. the way I come across or the way I deal with situations, the way I deal with confrontation, all of that is from a certain side of the family. So it's taking the good with the bad, I guess. Yeah, I hear it. But it's accountability. I know that I'm like that, and I know what to do. I know what to avoid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, for myself, I noticed, I sort of, again, looking backwards on my life, I sort of used to, we'll just say, I wasn't great in relationships growing up. And I used to sort of inherently blame that on like all my friends. Like all my friends were doing certain things and acting certain ways. So I went, oh, well, yeah, that's just what we were doing, innit? Like we always do as guys. But when I really looked back on it, the fact that, my first sort of initial understanding of relationship dynamics was my parents. Like, and when I sort of look at some of the direct ways that I've just directly look at some of the things I was doing and some indirect things that I was doing to certain women that were, my first strong examples of that was seeing that day in, day out, or week in, week out, or depending on when my dad is around, like seeing that at home and sort of realizing I also then was growing up around a bunch of guys who similarly probably were having the same sort of thing where they were all seeing that at home, and we all came up together and went, well, this is how we're all meant to be.
Yeah.
But we didn't inherently go, oh, that's our dad. We just inherently went, oh, that's just us as a generation, but or in some cases their mum, and I sort of look back now and go, oh, okay, like almost the audacity of me back then, especially because I would have obviously, and I do to the death, I love mum to the death, but I would have told you back then that, oh yeah, like I cherish my mum and I respect my mum, because they would talk down on my mum, and that's true, but inherently copying or imitating or manifesting the behaviours that I saw my dad treating my mum isn't respecting your mum, is dishonouring your mum. You know what I mean? It is disrespecting your mum. Because
she raised you better than that.
To know that, to have seen it, know that you didn't like what was happening, and then went, yeah, but I'm just gonna do that to somebody else's kid. Is like, well, how can I truly be respecting my mum if I don't do that? You know what I mean? If I move that way, and then
was you aware of that age? I'm assuming you're talking teenager age, right? Because that would have been crazy accountable at the age of 16.
I feel like I only
king of the world.
Yeah,
I don't think I've fully started to dive into that, like maybe my mid-20s.
Okay,
still
young though.
Yeah,
still young.
But yeah, no, that's another shout out to the missus for usually.
Would you love a wholesome wife?
She puts the battery in my back in terms of looking into certain things, isn't it?
Like, and a mirror to your face.
Yeah, mirror face and my sort of behaviours and that. And I sort of started to clock onto to those sort of things. Yeah. And then speaking actually to what I was about to say her name, but the caller with sort of that level of waiting for your parent to die, that sort of level of hatred, that I wouldn't say I went to that far. I wouldn't think I truly don't wish death on nobody. Like, yeah, but there was definitely
better than me.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people I won't name their names, but there's some people they're borderline almost there. But I just don't care. But
I'm indifferent.
But yeah, no, that's the thing. I sort of, I definitely experienced that level of, hatred for a parent where you're just like, there's nothing about you. There's no redeeming feature I can see in you that makes me want to be okay with this and forgive you in any way, shape or form. And it took, I mentioned it the other week when I was talking to Brent and Marks. Like I lost my brother, and it's sort of my initial because me and him weren't super close because of, again, partly the way my dad's parents' dynamics were all messed up. I sort of almost instantly was like, I wanted to blame my dad for my brother passing away before me and him could truly bond the way I wanted us to bond, and I sort of was like, the younger me would have been like, let me manifest that and let me harbour that and let me hold that and let me run with that and keep that and keep that in. Whereas I've sort of had to go again, maybe not, somewhat reluctantly I would say, but I've accepted that to be better, I have to be able to let that stuff go. Like I have to just be able to go, all right, look, I accept that X and Y are clearly linked and that he has fault in this, but I just got to push through and learn from that. Like Ramsey was saying, where you just got to learn and go, all right, cool. How do I not make this happen again with my other siblings? Because God forbid the next time I lose a sibling, knock on wood, it don't happen anytime soon. I don't want to be sitting there having the exact same conversation myself. So it's like, I got to push through and just go, regardless of that side of it, let me push through and, and go this way. You know what I mean? Like it's and in my case, I'm quote unquote forgiving my dad without him taking accountability.
Yeah, and I think that's important.
That's the way. I feel like sometimes you just have to do that. Like as much as we would all love our parents to be able to go and say, hey, look, this is where I've effed up. You was right, I'm wrong, you're smart, I'm dumb, kind of thing. Like we'd love that, we'd love it, and but especially with us who have immigrant parents, a lot of them don't. We'll never have that mentality to be able to fully accept
Does that
that
matter?
accountability.
Does that matter?
The immigrant parents.
No. Does that matter that they say, oh no, I did fuck up?
No, I think
Yeah, it does because it does something
it
to you.
validates. Yeah, I think it validates.
I don't care.
No, but
to
that's
some,
you
yeah.
though.
I don't
To
give a
some they
shit.
need that
You still done
yeah.
the wrong, bro.
To some
No,
they
but
need
that's
that
you,
validated. Yeah, to some they need that validated. It's like when, you know, obviously to a much lesser jokey extent, like, you know, where like when, you know, like we'll say a you and your mum and you see like how your you behaves with your mum and vice, but then go, wait, this is not how you do that with me. It's this, you almost want that acknowledgement of
Yeah.
like, hey, like you used to be that way. Like this was not what we
'Cause
did was real.
acknowledgement.
Like what we did, it
Yeah.
was real. Like I'm not
I
just saying
guess
this.
so.
This
No, but
was
the
real.
acknowledgement is the
You know what I mean?
beginning
Yeah.
of fixed relationships. Because how can we fix a relationship? I'm gonna read Maggie's comment in a second.
Yeah, go on.
But how can we fix a relationship if you don't acknowledge what it is that meant we didn't have a relationship in the first place, or what it is that broke the relationship? Do you get what I mean?
Who wants to fix it?
And no, but they might want to, but you
Well,
don't.
too bad.
No, but you don't have to. Like, you don't have to say, okay, yes, I want. Like, they can show an interest in doing so. It doesn't mean you have to take up the offer.
Okay.
But it's like for me, if you want to fix a relationship with me, or you want to have a relationship with me, or get to know me as an adult, you can't come in here acting like we're buddies. I don't know you. You have to acknowledge what it is that you've done, and then we can move forward from that. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's, for me, that's the beginning. That's the intro to any conversation.
Yeah,
that's
for
gonna be
sure,
had. Do you get what I mean?
for sure.
Maggie says, definitely a needed conversation about the resentment that can be held against the parent that was present and how that impacts adult relationships.
For sure.
I forgot what moment. No, for sure. You're so annoying.
Brent, where do you stand on all this? What are you saying?
I think everybody, depending on what the parents did, would have a different take on it. I personally didn't have my parents like scar me in a mad way for me to be hesitant to forgive them. But I do believe that if they did, it'll be hard for me. Only Jesus will be able to get me to that point. And I don't even know if then I would give them space in my future.
And you know what it is as well? There's also that where people think that, I mean, yeah, we kind of mentioned it. You said something else that I'm trying to remember as well. But people think that, yeah, you have to essentially, have you really forgiven if you don't have an active relationship with somebody? Oh, yeah. There's that. There was also something that you said. I'm trying to remember now. Crap. And it's kind of like it's kind of like similar in that. Oh, letting things go.
Oh yeah.
I think that you can acknowledge that someone's hurt you, and what they've done is hurt you and whatnot, but that doesn't mean you haven't let it go. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just like I can just acknowledge that you've hurt me and what you've done has been harmful for me, but that doesn't mean that you haven't forgiven them or whatever. Because I think that closure is a privilege, and it's a privilege that not everybody gets to enjoy. Because I always think of if someone so one of the ways I taught myself to move on without getting closure was I just thought if the person dies, what happens?
But what is
I'm not gonna
closure?
have
Because I hear it a
closure's
lot
like-
in movies and that in American films. Like, I don't get
So-
closure in this relationship.
So
Like,
closure
what
is
does
being
that mean?
able to like talk things over, like get the accountability, get an apology, just talk things and just understand their perspective, they understand your perspective, and just come to a common ground of just understanding things a lot better. So
Okay.
let's say in sake of say a relationship or whatever, say my man was cheating on me or whatever it is, I have no idea why you were cheating. I have
Oh,
no
I
idea at what
see.
point the relationship broke down for you to do that.
Okay.
So closure is just having a conversation about things. But sometimes people act like, well, not they act like, I guess some people need that to be able to move on. But I started to, and I used to be like that. I'd want to talk about things. Like, I want to talk about it. But I realized that it's a privilege not everyone gets to enjoy, because if that person was to drop dead tomorrow, before this conversation, I'm not willing to live the rest of my life in bondage to this experience. I want to move on. So the way I deal with things is I get myself to a point where, yes, it was when you said about forgiving your dad even though he hasn't taken accountability. I've got to myself to a point where I can forgive people without them even having to apologize to me. I can forgive people without them even having to acknowledge the wrong they did, because I know that you did wrong. Whether you want to, there's different reasons why people will not want to acknowledge it. Again, it's the mirror analogy. Again, sometimes, well, like similar to what Iman was saying earlier, some things are bigger impact on you than it is on the person that actually did it. Like for them, it's not the end of the world. But for me, the world has ended. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I've got myself to a point where I'm able to move on without having to hear a person say sorry to me, without them having to say, do you know what, actually that was effed up or that was bad. Because I just don't want to live with that energy in there. Like I don't want to live with that resentment. I don't want to live with that because I'll get a knot in my heart, and I don't want to live with that. So for me, the way I saw it for myself was that if I don't forgive somebody and I go on carrying on with that hate, that's basically me drinking poison and expecting other person to die. It's not going to work. It doesn't work that way. So for me, it's been important to to just work on myself to a point where someone can offend me and I'm able to just move on from it. And I've told myself a lot of things. People might think some of them are delulu or whatever, but it is a salulu. It works how it's meant to work. And I also realized as well that just back to like what people deal with and like our parents and whatever, some things are not about you. So say for example, like a parent is just a shit parent. They're a shit parent possibly because they're a shit individual. That's not about me. Like the reason why you're not in my life might not be because you don't like me as a person and you just don't want nothing to do. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, it's not personal to me. It's not because you don't like my behavior, you don't like my face. It's not personal to me. It's more about the demons that you're fighting, and that's why. And I think so. That's one of the things that helps me look at things and just move on in relationships and friendships and whatever the ships it might be. Is that some things are just not about me.
It's an interesting way of looking at it. I think my brain is wired completely different.
Yeah, because you're on smoke.
You live in the smoke.
I don't see with me, it's not the point you said about it may not be about me.
Yeah.
They're just a shit person.
Yeah.
But it is, because you being a shit person, you not being accountable has affected me in the long run.
Yeah, but you're the effect of it. You're not the cause of them being a shit person.
I'm still affected. So
and that's fair.
Yeah. In my mind, the way I work is because you're such a shit person, you've now affected someone else because of your shit.
Because you're so shit. Yeah.
And the one you mentioned before about the closure, I don't need closure.
Yeah.
Because you've messed up and what you've done, no matter how minimal or heinous, is still wrong, right? Say it was something wrong. Yeah. I don't need that closure. I don't need to know why you done it. All I need to know is that you done it.
Yeah.
And then I can deal with the situation going forward. I feel like that's why I never understood when they said, until you paint it out to me now, I've never understood it when people said they need closure.
Yeah. I do think as well that like, I think it's a bit, okay, my take is that I think it's unhealthy because I can see conversations happening in the chat with Iman talking about, grace and nightfall and whatever. I think they're talking about like giving your parents grace and not expecting an apology and stuff. Stuff like that builds resentment, but I think everyone is different. But I also think that some people have resentment without realizing they have resentment, and one day it's going to just pour out and you realize how much it is that you've been,
I think I don't have none. I was talking to my... It's funny,
you don't have what?
I don't have like resentment like that. I just don't... He's like... In regards to my parent... To my parent,
but
parent,
that is
I'm not
resentment
talking,
though.
It's not, I don't care. I'm not talking to one of my parents and be like, yo, like, I genuinely forget that they exist.
That's fair, but then when you talk about them, you're irritated and annoyed about them. Like when you think of how your body feels when you talk about them.
When you remember they exist,
you're annoyed and you're thinking,
come back.
Yeah, because you're like, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I just think, it is what it is. We move on. Like I was talking to my friends as well, especially with all of us have problems.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of us deal with our problems, or some of us deal with our shortcomings and blame the way we were raised on our shortcomings. And I've never been that person. I've never let someone else's thing affect me to which I can't hold myself accountable. Yeah. Some people look at astrology, which is bullshit, and some people look at the way they were raised. To me, it's a cop-out. You are the way you are because you've made certain decisions.
I mean, I agree with that. Tell me your Leo grand rising is rising.
Come on.
In the retrograde is why you're a selfish person.
Come on. Yeah. But I say all that to say that's how much I don't. That's how much resentment I don't hold. I just don't care. Because if it was resentment, then I'll be getting revenge, and I'm not doing that. It's indifference. I'm not wishing death, but I'm also not wishing them. That doesn't sound crazy. I'm not wishing them death, but I don't wish them the best either.
Yeah,
like it's just,
it's just it is what it is. God will deal with you.
Yeah.
If he so chooses to, but that's it. They're already living in their choices.
Yeah,
and that should be enough.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I look at it a very similar way where I think of.
I do think that parents are not held to account enough though, because of this whole what they're dealing with, blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
They can't show love because they wasn't showed love.
Yeah, and you know what? I find that interesting. Obviously, I know that it's a fight or flight mode. Yeah, that people. Psychologically, people deal with things differently. But I always find it interesting how if you don't have a parent, if you have an absent parent in your life and that's something that you know has hurt you, whether like that manifests in anger, whether that's like resent, whatever the case might be. When I was alive. Oh, whatever the case might be, you're so silly. Whatever the case might be, like, but you are aware that this is something that annoys you. At the basic level, it annoys you that you don't have this parent in your life, or this parent does something to you, and then you go on and you do that to somebody else, or like to your child. Is it crack?
Yes, it's mad. You're moving mad. Mad immediately.
And but then I'm like, okay, maybe I'm talking from a place of privilege of someone that actually intends and invests on working on themselves, but
that's not a privilege.
I don't understand that.
That's not a privilege. You've worked on that. The word privilege can't be involved in that. You are working on that.
But some people don't have that awareness though.
Well, that's too bad for them. I do. I have a successful relationship. I'm doing what's best for my son. My son comes above everything. I'm not redoing nothing of shit that I've been through.
Yeah.
That is my revenge.
That's how it should be. But some people don't see, like, they just go on and repeat and repeat. And again, if you're younger, that's fair enough. You don't have the capacity. Fair enough. But as you get older and you start to have children,
you're weak.
I'm just like,
you're weak.
Yeah, it's a cop out.
You're weak.
I think you just do the cop out of like, this is what I was raised.
You're
to
weak,
rather than actually just look at the issue head on and actually just go, all right, well,
do you know what I
here are
mean?
the mistakes.
Because the results of that,
mistakes.
do you mean like you know the effects of that? You know the impact that's had on you,
Yeah.
and then here you go repeating
On your baby,
history.
you're holding your baby, and you're treating your baby like shit.
Yeah,
you're weak.
No, yeah,
You're weak.
I don't know if you heard that bit in there, but there's a bit where he sort of Marvin sort of talks about how some like look at having a child almost as like it's a sense of like, oh, like I'm having this child to almost make up for the relationship I lost with a said parent.
Okay.
But then not realizing that for a long time that kid not in the intention, obviously is selfish in terms of they only think of themselves, and their world. And in the same way, the mother, in my case, or the father, obviously in the woman's case, the child becomes their world as well. So you still, to an extent, being neglected because you're not the baby's, you're not the baby's everything. The baby, the child is its own everything, and you and your partner are almost to an extent subservient to that child and whatnot. So like you chasing after this sort of person to validate you, like it almost is sort of almost is like counterproductive. Like you're chasing after that validation from your child, but they can't give it to you, especially early on, because they're not, that's not what that's not how a child thinks. A child's not going to think like, oh, I need to make sure my dad feels like he's the most loved person in the world. It's like it's just like I just want.
Do you know what I find that?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I find that interesting because sometimes I see stuff. I've seen it. I feel like with mothers and their children, or like mothers and sons, let's say, and then fathers and daughters, or like parents with their children are very, like men and women deal with kids in a different way. And sometimes, so I find like sometimes in relationships, right, sometimes some men feel like they can only be a father or love this child if we are good in our relationship. So as soon as the relationship breaks down, they feel like, like I'm not gonna have anything to do with you. Like the relationship with the mother is broken down, so therefore the relationship with the child must also break down. Do you get what I mean?
Thinks that? Is there people that think that?
Yeah, I think some people definitely preempt that. Like, especially if the thing does end on bad terms, they almost preempt that. Like, well, now me and her hate each other. She's gonna.
That those are your kids now.
She now. Me
Wait,
and her
I think you're saying something different.
Oh no, I was gonna say both. I was just gonna say both. That literally there'll be some who will be like, oh, like that's their, like. I wanted all of it. If I can't have all of it, I don't want none of it. Or there's some who are like, where it's like they preempt like, oh well, this person's gonna be like, the other person's gonna be like, all right, well, like we talked at the beginning, where it's like the parent manifests their hatred onto the kid. So they'll be like, oh well, I might as well just back away because I know you're gonna, poison. You're probably gonna poison my kid against me.
But if you're there, they wouldn't have their minds poisoned. But there's that part, and then there's also the angle where sometimes some women treat their sons like, when like obviously I get that people having kids is special and whatnot. Congratulations to everybody involved.
I know what you're gonna say.
But they're like, oh, like my son is my world.
Yeah. Or like there's that. What do they call it? They call it something. They call those mums
boy mums.
Nah, there's like a specific name. I saw a video of like some guy doing gender reveal, and the mum ran to the dad instead of the mum ran to the son instead of the son having time with his wife, and they called.
Oh, wow! They're the ones I hate so much.
There's a name
Mummy's
for them.
boys. Mummy boys.
There's
Mama boys.
another name, something like that, in which they live their life vicariously through their son.
Yeah, so I feel like
their son's their husband.
Yes,
Yeah.
Even that as well. I find it so weird. I find it
mad
so
weird.
weird when it's
Mad
like
weird.
your son. Because then what happens? That you raise this child to be what it is that you think.
You
What
wanted
exactly you
in a
would have liked
man.
in a partner?
Yes.
Oh,
There's a name for them.
Do you mean what
There's
you
a
think like what you would have liked in a partner? And then that's the thing. That's when the issue comes. When this child now is now living his own life, becoming his own individual, his own adult, has his own partner. Now you're competing for a spot with his girl.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The weirdo.
yeah, no, definitely, no, definitely happens. I've seen that firsthand from friends and my own situations.
It's
where
weird,
just
man.
Like, you feel almost that you do become their world because there is this level of like, they don't want to, what's the word? They're not able to sort of accept or move on from where it was. So it's just like you become the escape.
Yeah.
In terms of that, and there's sort of a level of like I've even sort of brought up to my own mum where it's just like there comes that point where we're not there. Like I think I literally saw like a stat like that obviously, and it goes without saying that the amount of time you have conversations with your parents obviously dwindles as you get older.
Mm-hmm.
And there's obviously a point where like literally I think it's like for every year you like speak or see your parents like a handful of days, like the equivalent in like terms of hours, like the equivalent to like a few days, like like a week or something like that in a year, where you're actually like fully engaging with your parent. So there comes that point where like you have to almost as a parent accept that, all right, well, I need to figure out my life outside of this. Like that you can't, and also I also hate forcing kids to grow up. Like I hate forcing kids to grow up. Because that's something else that we can talk on in terms of, I think that's part of like the mother wound thing that my mum was talking about, where it's just like, where some mothers force their children to grow up.
You're the man of the house.
Yeah,
I hate that.
You are forced.
So much.
You are forced to be her everything.
Be an adult.
Yeah, and be an adult. And it's like, like as much as, of course, like not saying you don't want to look after your mum, you don't want to help your mum, of course, but I feel like there's boundaries that get very easily crossed, where it goes from being helpful to no, you're literally the additional parent. You are you are literally expected to be the adult at before you, by the time you're double figures, you're expected to be an adult in this house.
Yeah, I think African children, I feel like it's even a conversation for a whole other day, child, because I got a lot to say on it. I feel like African children are robbed of their innocence. And most African, I don't know how other communities work, but I would say that Africa, that whole like, as the boy, you're the man of the house. As the girl, you're like the second mum. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I think it's wild. I think it's wild.
Do the cooking, do the cleaning, and the men does the other stuff. Yeah, 100%.
It's crazy. But yeah, man. Thank you, Ed. That was a really productive conversation.
Right.
Thank you.
Excuse your lateness. It was a really good conversation. It was a good conversation. I thought we'd done all the headlines. We haven't got one more left.
Okay.
So we do that, please. Okay. Let's see. Radio waves from Elon Musk's growing network of satellites are blocking scientists' ability to peer into the universe, according to researchers in the Netherlands. The new generation of Starlink satellites, which provide fast internet around the world, are interfering more with radio telescopes than earlier versions, they say. The thousands of orbiting satellites are blinding radio telescopes and may be hindering astronomical research, according to the Netherlands Institute for Radio Astronomy, Astron. SpaceX, which owns Starlink, has not replied to requests from BBC for comments. The satellites provide broadband internet around the world, often to remote places, including challenging environments like Ukraine and Yemen. They're also used to connect remote areas of the UK to fast internet. Our next headline is about Taylor Swift. Pharrell Williams. Pharrell Williams has slammed the stars who speak out publicly about which political candidate they are voting for. In a new interview with a Hollywood Reporter, the 51-year-old music producer said, "I don't do politics." Oh, we know. All lives matter, looking at us. I don't do politics. In fact, I get annoyed sometimes when I see celebrities trying to tell you who to vote for. There are celebrities that I respect that have an opinion, but not all of them. He continued, I'm one of those people who says, what the heck? Shut up. Nobody asked you. Williams, who is Louis Vuitton's men's creative director, added, when people get out there and get self-righteous and they roll up their sleeves and shit, and they are out there walking around with a placard, shut up. His rant came the day after Taylor Swift publicly endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris and has led to Swifties, the 34-year-old superstar's fans, hitting back at the perceived slights against their idol. Can't lie, yeah, she goes heavy. That's why people were talking about how this is why people wanted her to speak out against Israel with the Palestine situation because of how much influence, like the influence she has.
She would never do that. She would never do that. Her does some big exec.
She would never.
So no, she won't.
Okay, and then our last headline for today: the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA. I'm gonna say it's obviously UNGA, but UNGA sounds lit. Has overwhelmingly adopted a resolution calling on Israel to end its illegal occupation of the Palestinian territories within a year, a move that Palestine held as historic. The non-binding measure passed a 124 to 12 votes on Wednesday.
Only America.
With 43 countries abstaining. The UNGA, I love this word so much. The UNGA demanded that Israel brings to an end without delay its unlawful presence in the occupied Palestinian territory, which constitutes a wrongful act of a continuing character entailing its international responsibility, and do so no later than 12 months.
Come on.
It also called on Israel to make reparations to Palestinians for damages incurred by the occupation. The UNGA, whose mission includes promoting respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms, includes every sovereign country in the world, so Wednesday's vote underscores the depth of the international opposition to the Israeli occupation of Palestine.
Come on. Israel's a terrorist state. Come on.
The resolution backed an advisory opinion by the International Court of Justice, ICJ, the UN's top court, which found that Israel's presence in the Palestinian territories is unlawful and must end.
Come on.
That's it for our headlines for today. Time to pay some bills. Did you bring your own sound effects?
Come
I
on.
was just about to say, imagine
Did you hear that?
I was about to say, imagine if Ramsey had the board. It was like,
It's terrible.
Come on.
copyright. You should do it for copyright, bro.
Bro, all right. Let's get into the reaction, please. It's going to be 4 hours.
You just promised them yesterday, though.
I didn't.
Yeah, you promised
I didn't.
me that.
I said it's going to be longer. I said it's going to be a bit longer than yesterday, but not too long. This is way too long. It's midday. Yapping.
Yappa.
Listen.
Well, for the sake of Esther,
Thank you
I
very
will
much.
very quickly run through yesterday's results.
Another black man that respects black women.
You know,
Thank you.
we'll very quickly run through it. So, in Champions League yesterday, Bologna drew 0-0 with Shakhtar Donetsk. Sparta Prague won 3-0 versus RB Salzburg. Celtic won 5-1 against Slovan. Club Brugge lost 3-0 to Dortmund. Man City drew 0-0 with Inter Milan, and PSG won 1-0 versus Girona. And in the League Cup, Brighton won 3-2 versus Wolves, and Coventry lost 2-1 to Spurs. Last minute, Spurs scraping by. Was looking forward to Cooking Star in the chat, but Brennan Johnson saved them. In news outside of not outside of football, but slightly different news. I just seen Viv Anderson, the first ever black Englishman. They've put his shirt up for auction, his first ever England shirt up for auction, and they're expected to get about £50,000 for it. So that sounds like a big look for that. In terms of what's happening today, is the Champions League today as well? I think innit? Yeah, there's other Champions League. Yeah, oh yeah, Brent, your boys are playing. What you expecting, Brent? What are you expecting?
A win.
Away as well. With the Arsenal away record, ain't amazing.
I go into every game
go
like
every-
this these days. You get me? It's just who we are at this point. This Arsenal.
Yeah, that's the tie. I'd say that's probably the tie of the round. Atalanta, who are the Europa League winners, facing Arsenal. That's the tie of the round. Barcelona have got Monaco. That could be tuned to that. Like Leti versus Leipzig. That could be a good game. I might have to look into that one as well. There's the League Cup draw for the next round gone through. Did they show that? I don't know. I don't know if they've done that yet. So if I quickly see it, if I can't see it, then no. I'll see it for then.
All right.
No, I can't see it. Yeah. All right.
Is that it?
We'll touch on that another time. You guys touch on that
Thank you
another time.
very much.
Thanks,
that was
Ed.
amazing.
No
That was
worries.
really good. All right, let's wrap it up, please.
All right.
All right, we talked about a lot of things today. We had a lovely guest as well. Big up, Clive Lindsay. That was it. Sorry. So what did we talk about today? Today we talked about Kemi Badenoch and how she was middle class, but then morphed into a working class person as soon as she started her McDonald's first day shift.
As you do.
So that was great. We talked about Kamala Harris as well and wanting to get some reparations for slavery. See how really, just some people sad and they just do too much. What else? Talked about sadly a 27-year-old man who died weeks after getting the COVID vaccine because he was wrongly invited by the NHS.
E-man smiling the whole time he was talking about
Yeah, emergency guy.
a toxic guy.
But I didn't know that there was different jobs given to different people of different ages, so that's interesting for me to learn today. Also talked about the unlawful care homes that are charging at-risk kids. Sorry, I'm just thrown off. They're charging 20 grand per at-risk child, and they're not even doing what they're meant to be doing. Crazy.
Scary.
Sadly for the victims, but hopefully they're able to get justice. We talked about Mohamed Al Fayed, who owned Harrods. He died last year, and how he was a alleged sex criminal. Of course, Word and Road as well. We talked about Miley Cyrus and what's his name, Bruno Mars' song and situation. We talked about Andrew Schultz and his making fun of the shit and gigs guy for apologizing, and how I think he's racist, but apparently he's pro Black Lives Matter, but we don't know if that's just on camera or in reality. We also talked about United States versus Diddy, and yeah, he's having the day he deserves. The lovely Ed had a great topic of the day that was deep, but also very, very good. I hope everyone learned from it, and just go away and just reflect on things. And it's about forgiving our parents, and is that the key to healing? I personally say no, but work has to be done. And Ed also led the reactions part, and people won, people lost, all that kind of stuff. But all that being said, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on socials. Oh, sorry, we had the rotation as well. That was right opposite me as well. Can you imagine the cheek of it? We had the rotation. Okay, don't. You said nothing the whole time. So,
At the rotation, we spoke about Babe and Kemi's new EPs.
Sure
and
did.
We discussed Put You Ones. All of the songs on Put You Ones should be updated on our Spotify playlist. Please
Nice.
follow that, and it will be updated weekly.
Wonderful. Yes, so follow us on socials, The Day After TMB. We're on Instagram, X, Discord, TikTok. And then what's happening with the event? Is it closed now?
No, there's still some more places.
Okay, there's some more places. If you want to come and party with people then next week, please kindly RSVP. If you want a +1, they also have to RSVP.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you will get confirmation on the 23rd, which is in a few days.
It's in a few days. It's next week Friday.
I am going to enjoy seeing all of y'all.
Nice.
Only y'all could buy Esther drinks and stuff. And you can buy...
I don't drink.
Then you can buy manual drinks.
Yeah, buy mine and drinks.
I could buy Ramsey drinks.
Buy me gold. Put it come back.
Yes.
Buy me gold.
Buy me gold. That's the one.
If you
gold.
love her, when it's like if you love a deal, I don't want a deal bag. I want gold. Buy me gold. So that when World War, which one is it, happens, I can get some bread and whatnot. So buy me gold.
Yeah. Fellas, next time she's asking you for a bag, make sure you buy her
Okay.
gold instead. Gold instead, man. That's the way forward.
Gold instead, man. Anyways, you know what's so funny? I don't even like gold like that, you know? Like, I like gold, like, accessories. I don't like gold, like, rings.
I like gold.
No, actually, no, that's a lie. That's a damn lie. I like gold rings. I just don't like gold engagement rings, like wedding bands and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I'm more of a silver babe.
You like platinum?
Yeah, so platinum silvers.
Yeah.
That's more my steels as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like I just feel like it's nice on my skin tone.
If anybody knows anybody who makes jewelry, I want to get some pieces done.
Sorry, I meant to send you.
Yeah, no, that's time ago, but I can't rely on you anymore, innit? So I'm asking the community if you all know anybody who makes jewelry. I want to get some pieces done.
If you want to go south, I know a guy who probably can send you some.
Why are you saying like that about, you know?
If I want to go south,
If you want to go south, yeah.
I've been south before. Just the air's a bit
Why
dense.
do you so
over there,
act
innit?
like? Yeah, because the air in East is very clean.
I was gonna say.
He stinks. Is that rude to say? You're gonna fight me? for that?
Kano wasn't talking about any exit down in South London.
Can you
No.
imagine? All right. Time to cut mics.
All right.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
Love.
Bye.
There is